Peace, peace, peace. What's good? What's good? What's good? This is your boy Sodaman. I am here live, people. Got a very special guest in the building. So when you come in the building, hit the like button. Hit the like button when you come in the building. This is Solar Vision. This man goes by many names. Bobby Banger, the God Killer, Uncle Ket. He has authored the book entitled The Chronology of Human Evolution, Real Black Atheism Explained, and he's working on a part two of that book. He has authored authors in the he has done articles in the Black Excellence in Engineering, Science, and Technology manuscripts. The article is entitled Proposing African Centered Education in STEM for African American STEM Learners. He goes by the name of Uncle Ket, God Killer. What's going on, brother? Unmute your mic.
Man, what's good, bro?
All right, all right. So, let the people know what you're going to be talking about tonight, brother.
Look, man, we've been going through this discussion, at least me and you, for years,
Mm-hmm.
and we can safely say that I have not actually changed my stance when it comes to evolution. So I kind of knew early in the game that evolution was the key to understanding human history. And human history is African history. Fundamentally speaking, all Homo sapiens sapiens are Africans. You have Africans and non Africans, which may confuse those. Non Africans are still Africans. When you call a particular group of people non Africans, you're simply talking about the fact that their mutation occurred off of the continent of Africa. So I'd like to say big up to all the people in the chat, man. I see I got the family there, man. All the families in there, man. And I appreciate everybody to come through to support me, bro. I appreciate you giving me a chance to stop through, man, and showing me love, man. We've been messing with each other since the days of Philly. Since we had, I think I was beefing with your man. He was threatening me, don't come down there. I better not come. And then, we showed up, right? And that was at the bookstore.
Crazy times, crazy times.
Crazy town. We're gonna bring the Muslims, ain't no atheists. Yeah, dare you come out here. And I showed up. So,
You did
and
show
the
up.
and the house was packed.
Yeah.
It was packed. Great, great. And I know, what I'm saying, I was able to come down there because you had my back. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it was good. So we've been that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole team was down there, man. It was a great thing, man. So I'm here, man. I'm on Solar Vision, man. Um, and I just want to talk about evolution and then transition to the Egypt thing, because that's really, if you don't understand evolution, you're not going to understand the population uh, in Egypt. You're just not going to be able to do it, man. And I think that's why I always studied evolution. Once I got my hands on the big boys, like John Jackson and Shigant Diops and Dr. Ben and them, they wrote chapters in their work detailing evolution. And so, although early in the early days, I was definitely steeped in blackology, but I started to read the evolution, which helped pull me up out of that. But they was the only ones
Why you
that
say
had
pulled
books
up out of what? Yeah, man.
out,
What
out of
that
blackology,
what that
mischaracterizing things based off the color of somebody's skin. That's
okay.
really what it is. You know what I'm saying?
My favorite book was I think John D. Jackson was the Man, God, and Civilization book. I think.
I got that up. I got that ready to go.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was my favorite John D. Jackson joint. He had a few though.
Go.
But so I'll give the floor to you. Let me know when you want me to pull up your information, and then I'll just fall back and let you go in.
Okay, man. Let me look in the chat, man. Sue in there. Let me. I see you. See you, Miss Tiff. Black Panther. I see you in there. What's good with you? I see you. Choco Kitty. I know I probably said that wrong. Cedric, what's good, man? The pseudo kill official. Mac Rob, pseudo kill official. I see a lot of official people in there. Black Panther, she official. Man, I see everybody. Taj was good, man. Pseudo Killer Army official. So I got a lot of family up in here, man. and then I see some, I see some enemies. But what would life be without? I'm saying enemies to the scholarship. Enemies to
Allow
the
me to
scholarship.
do that. Shout out to Tad. Shout out to Cedric. We got Chris Harris in the building. We got
I was gonna skip some
we
people.
got Simeon the atheist killer in the building.
Yeah,
We have
make sure you get the link
Gary
first.
Moore in the building. Mac Rob is in the building. We got who's that? Valessa Bennett is in the building.
That's the Black Panther.
All right. Choco Kitty is in the building. Angel, the most beautiful angel food is in the building. So yeah, we ready to rock. So it is on you, Uncle Cat. Whenever you're ready, brother.
All right, go ahead, pull it up. You can pull it up.
All right, let me go ahead and fall back.
You got 10 good slides, man. We get in and get out, right? And then we can transition into the population of the now. Okay. All right. Okay, so we're here. All right. Y'all see what it is, man. Human evolution. From the early ancestors to modern Homo sapiens. A journey through time. So, in this community, we always talk about the ancestors. Oh, God damn it, let's talk about the ancestors. And so this first slide right here, you see this depiction right here, and you see man evolving from a monkey to a man. This is actually not an evolutionary picture. Most people get tricked by this. It's just an artist's rendering. But most people say, man, we don't come from no monkeys. We don't come from no apes. Well, humans are apes. But this picture is not a proper depiction of evolution. It's actually a misrepresentation of evolution. Okay? Why? Because it's going in a certain direction. Evolution actually has no direction. I want to come right here to this early phylogenetic tree. This is actually written by the hands of Charles Darwin. This is one of his drawings. So he's actually the first person to put up a tree, the tree of life, evolutionary tree. Here's another picture, right? You see his notes on the side. It's authentic. All right. So he was proposing these ideas. You see the different branches and stuff like that. So he's the first person to actually put that pen to paper. And I think it's essential in understanding African history and understanding human beings and how they traversed around the planet. Most people don't make that connection, but we're going to do it tonight. Agree or disagree. This is where they at. These are the three domains of life. Bacteria, archaea, and eukarya. See? And you got Luca, the last universal common ancestor. But this is a phylogenetic tree. But like I said, that first one was actually put together by Charles Darwin. And here we are today with that. So that's why we talk about Charles Darwin, right? Because he was anchored in understanding the diversity of life. And he circumnavigated the globe to do that. Okay. And so in his book, In the Origin of Species, by way of natural selection and the favorite races, he only wrote about plants and other animals. He didn't mention humans, but one time at the end of the chapter, okay, he did that on purpose because in those times in 1800s, man, people were steeped in religion. So for him to even talk about humans in that light, you know what I'm saying, would actually put him in opposition with powerful forces. And so let's go with the introduction of human evolution. Let's deal with the definition of evolution. Evolution is the process by which different kinds of living organisms developed and diversified from earlier forms during the history of the earth. Human evolution refers specifically to the gradual development of a species, Homo sapiens, from the early hominids. Importance of studying human evolution. Understanding our origins and biological adaptations. Insights into human behavior, culture, and diversity. Relevance to medicine, anthropology, and genetics. And so most people will deny evolution, but will not deny going to the hospital. If you get sick enough, you're going to go. So, an overview and key stages. From early hominids in Africa to the global spread of modern human. Major milestones include development of bipedalism, right? That means locomotion, you walk upright. Brain expansion and the use of tools. The earliest hominids Key species. Silopithecus lived around 7 million years ago in Central Africa, Chad, one of the oldest known species in human lineage. Australopithecus lived around 4.4 million years ago in East Africa, Ethiopia. Shows a mix of, look at this, primitive and advanced traits, such as bipedalism. All right? This is important, right? Most people think that the Australopithecus was actually saying that that was a human. No, that's the mischaracterization of it. She's an Australopithecus. And the importance of that particular hominid was that for the first time, right, in the record, that they could actually see something with bipedalism. Not only bipedalism, right, but habitual bipedalism, meaning she walked upright. But this is the first time they actually seen it in the record. Now, what's the key features? Here you go. Bipedalism begins. Early adaptation for walking on two legs, although not fully upright. It says small brain size compared to modern humans. These early hominids had much smaller brains. All right. Adaptations retained from traits from tree climbing, indicating particular forested habitat. So these early hominids lived in trees. Important. In those days, yo, you was definitely inferior to the rest of the animals around you. Right? Quick picture of some Australopithecus. And I showed these exaggerated pictures on purpose. You got to get used to looking at this. Okay? That's not a monkey. Just want you to understand that. Your eyes are saying that's a monkey, but in actuality, it is not. We just might as well just get used to it. Australopithecines, key species. Australopithecus afrogenesis, best known from the famous fossil Lucy. Y'all know about Lucy. Lived around 3.9 to 2.9 million years ago in East Africa. Australopithecus africanus, a slightly later species, lived around 3 to 2 million years ago in South Africa. Key features: bipedalism, fully adapted for walking upright, but still spent time in trees. I'm going to say this again. Fully adapted to walking upright, but still spent time in the trees. Right now, you can go outside and climb a daggone tree. Well, humans climb trees well. All right? Small brains. Brain size slightly larger than early hominids, but still much smaller than Homo sapiens. So the difference here is the brain size in being adapted to trees and walking upright. Simple tools. Evidence suggests the use of primitive tools, although not as advanced as later species. Significance? These species represent a key step in human evolution, bridging the gap between early hominids and the genius Homo. So this particular species, right, is intermediary. It's branching, okay, the earlier hominids to the Homo genius. The mistake in the conscious community was people were saying, well, Lucy is a black woman. No, that's wrong. Although her Ethiopian name is Dagnesh. And that word Dagnesh means she's marvelous. And by the way, that was the argument by Dr. Ben. He was saying, why are you calling her Australopithecus? She's not from Australia. She needs an indigenous African name. And she actually has one now, and they call it Dagnesh. This would be Lucy. Y'all see the hips right there. These hips actually represent bipedalism, being able to walk upright. Okay? Different variations in the skull, smaller brain size, but they got these bones. I didn't want to bring the scientific thing. I just wanted to give you a rough understanding of it. I want you to see what it is. We got to make it as simple as possible so y'all can get it. I've been talking about this for years, and we still have people arguing it with the wildest arguments ever. So let's deal with the genus Homo, the Homo species. Homo habilis, lived around 2.4 to 1.4 million years ago in East Africa, often considered the first species of homogeneous. Okay, Homo rudolfensis, similar to Homo habilis, lived around same time in East Africa. Key features: large brain. So now the brain becomes a little larger. So these homos seem to have large brains. Significant increase in brain size compared to Australopithecines, around 510 to 60 cc's from Homo habilis. Tool use associated with Oldowan tools, the earliest known stone tool industry. So this is the oldest known tool industry in Oldowan. Diet likely included meat, as suggested by the presence of tools for processing animal carcasses. Significance: these species mark the beginning of the homogeneous, characterized by increased brain size and more complex behaviors. So we start to see the early behaviors of the Homo, which you will later find in Homo sapiens sapiens. But these are the roots of that. And you see the tools right there, early tools, which is significant for the Homo genus family. Homo erectus, first to migrate. The first to migrate. Okay? Key species. Homo erectus lived about 1.9 million to 110,000 years ago. Fossils have been found in Africa, Asia, Europe, indicating wide range migration. So these Homo erectus was able to migrate out of Africa. They're the first to leave up out of Africa. Key features: upright posture. There you go, Homo erectus, upright, to be erect. Fully, now watch this, fully bipedal. Okay, so that means they was habitual with the body structure very similar to modern humans. Large brain size around 600 to 1,000 to 1,100 cc's, showing significant cognitive development. Tool use associated with Agrarian tools, indicating hand axes and cleavers. Use of fire, evidence of controlled use of fire for cooking and warmth. So they could actually control fire. So no, humans weren't the first to control fire. And I'm saying, my fault, Homo sapiens, okay? Homo erectus is a human. Starting to get this picture here, there was more than one human living on planet Earth at one time. And these particular humans would actually mix. Significance: Homo erectus presence represents a major evolutionary step with adaptations to allow the migration out of Africa and survival in diverse environments. All right. This is a map of the migration. Okay, some of the species I talked about: Homo erectus, Homo ergaster, Homo habilis, and Australopithecus. Right? This is important to understand. So these particular archaic human species, right? They didn't make it around the world. Homo sapiens sapiens is the first to be able to navigate the entire planet. The serpent navigate the globe. Important. Let's talk about Neanderthal and other archaic humans. Homo Neanderthal, hear the word Homo Neanderthal, so they was humans. Lived from about 400,000 to 40,000 years ago in Europe and parts of Asia. Denisovan, Homo denisovan, a distinct group known by DNA evidence, and a few fossils lived in Asia around the same time as Neanderthal. Now watch this, key features: cold climate adaptation, short stocky bodies adapted to cold environments with large noses, all right, for humidify the warm the air and warm the air. Okay? Complex tools. All right. These complex tools are very, very, very important for navigating cold regions, advanced tool making, okay, a skill set. They even claim they may even have an ancient type of religion because they found like flowers and stuff with burials. Cultural practices, evidence of burial of the dead, use of pigments, and possible symbolic thinking. So Homo sapiens sapiens may not have been the first to have symbolic thinking. The significance is Neanderthal and Denisovan were close relatives of modern humans with evidence of interbreeding similarities. Homo Neanderthal, ladies and gentlemen, you see some of the tools. It's a beautiful picture right there. Let's come to our species. The rise of Homo sapiens, the most deadly species ever to evolve. We're in every ecological niche. Homo sapiens first appeared around 300,000 years ago in Africa. Modern humans have since spread across the globe. Advanced tools, key features. The use of sophisticated tools indicating blades, bones, tools, composite tools. Art and symbolism, evidence of cave paintings, carvings, and other forms of art, indicating complex symbolic thought. Language development of complex language, which facilitated social organization and cultural transmission. Those Homo Neanderthals didn't like to do a lot of communication. They liked to stay in small groups. Homo sapiens sapiens loved to be in larger groups, and they could communicate between the groups and bring groups together. They could marry into each other. Whereas though Homo Neanderthal, they stayed in their small groups, and this caused their smaller numbers. Homo sapiens sapiens actually just outpopulated them. I ain't gonna say that word. Significance. Homo sapiens are the only surviving species of the Homo genus, characterized by their ability to adapt to a wide range of environments, develop complex cultures, and I like to add a wide variety of foods. Apex predators. I bring to you, ladies and gentlemen, Homo sapiens sapiens. Well, you say, damn, you didn't bring, I said all Homo sapiens sapiens are African, fundamentally. Homo sapiens sapiens are 99.99% the same. We got to get used to recognizing everybody else as Homo sapiens sapiens. This particular branch of Homo sapiens sapiens left out of Africa and migrated to Asia. Still, Homo sapiens sapiens. Theories of human evolution. The Out of Africa theory. Modern Homo sapiens evolved in Africa around 200,000 years ago and later dispersed around the globe. Supported by genetic evidence showing that all humans share a common ancestry from Africa. Multi-regional hypothesis proposes that modern humans evolved simultaneously in different regions of the world from local archaic populations. Suggests continuous gene flow between populations over time. Genetic evidence. The Out of Africa theory is currently the most widely supported, with mitochondrial DNA studies tracing all humans back to a single African population. Significance? Understanding these theories help explain the genetic and cultural diversity of modern humans. Hope the damn light bulb didn't went off. Conclusion. The future of human evolution. Recap. Key stages. From early hominids to the emergence of Homo sapiens, human evolution is the story of adaptation and survival. Key milestones include development of bipedalism, that would be walking upright, increased brain size, tool use, and cultural innovation. Current understanding. Ongoing research continues to uncover new fossils and genetic evidence, refining our understanding of human evolution. Technological advancements, such as DNA analysis, has revolutionized the study of ancient human populations. Future of human evolution. Speculation on the impact of modern technology, medicine, and environmental changes on the future human evolution. Ethical considerations and the role of humans in shaping their own evolutionary path. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes this particular portion of the conversation. Bam. So why do I teach evolution? I talked about how you're not going to understand human beings with any great deep understanding if you don't have an appreciation for how we diversified around the planet and our interconnectedness and how the real differences come within culture. So focus more on culture, like African American culture, the beauty of African American culture. Stand on that. The beauty of Black American culture, I stand on that. But the beauty of recognizing other cultures and how other people do things helps you grow. So one of the first books that I actually looked at, Solomon, you got to share the screen on that. Okay, was this work right here. Man, God, and Civilization. Man, God, John Jackson, Man, God, and Civilization. So it wasn't me. It was the great John Jackson, Dr. John Jackson, who actually introduced evolution. So the question is, why haven't the community accepted this? They all accept John Jackson, right? So you just look at the chapters, chapter 2 and chapter 3. Chapter 2 is factors and evidence for evolution. Chapter 2 is ice age and man, right? So if you come right here, right off the rip, he hit you with the no properly educated person denies the reality of the evolutionary process. Although there is considerable disagreement amongst the authorities as to the precise causation of evolution on the fact of evolution, there is no dissent. The disagreement is on the relative value of the causal factors of the processes. And he mentions a key player. And the key player he mentions, Charles Darwin. Next to Darwinism, the most famous explanation of evolution is Lamarck's theory on inheritance and acquired characteristics, also known as the theory of the use of disuse. It says most Darwinisms have little respect for Lamarck, but Charles Darwin did not categorically reject the Lamarckian principle. The point I want to bring here is that he's talking about Charles Darwin. And right here in the second chapter, he goes in a little more deeper on Darwin. So I didn't need other people or quote unquote white people or China or whatever people be trying to argue about, right? We always had intelligent people that would teach us evolution, but we just ignored them. We would go past these two chapters, these first 2-3 chapters, and go to the religious section they was talking about, how maybe Egypt gave rise to other religions. We would stick right there, but we would never understand these chapters. It seems the earliest form of life appeared on the planet about 1.5 billion years ago. Apes and man have been traced back to a common ancestor, the first ape showing up about 40 million years ago. That fact is still a scientific fact. Shift down, he said, the popular opinion that Charles Darwin was the inventor of the doctrine of evolution is false. There were numerous evolutionists before Darwin, but with the publication of The Origin of Species in 1859, Darwin made the theory of evolution intellectually respectable. After that date, evolutionism became part of lore of modern science and hence had to be reckoned with by all thinking men and women. The bearing of the theory of evolution on human origins was scantily mentioned in Darwin in the conclusion passage. So in Darwin's work, like I said, he didn't talk about human evolution. He talked about the evolution of animals and plants. He says, this is what he says. The burn of the theory of evolution on human origins was scantily mentioned by Darwin in his concluding passage of The Origin of Species. He says this, y'all. Much light, said he, will be thrown on the origin of man and his history. That's page 55. No, my fault. 1955, I believe, page 373. So like I said, Darwin didn't talk about human evolution in his book. People rely on that though, right? It says in 1871, Darwin's Descent of Man was published, and this book, impressive evidence was deduced, tending to show that man and, watch this, the anthropoid apes, right, could be traced back to a common ancestor. See, Darwin said man and anthropoid apes could be traced back to a common ancestor. They say most of Darwin's contemporaries judged the continent of Asia, this is important, to be the most likely birthplace of humanity. But Darwin held that Africa had a better claim to the title of the cradle of mankind. He said, we are naturally led to inquiry, he asserted. Where was the birthplace of man? And watch this. In each great region of the world, the living mammals are closely related to the extinct species of the same region. It is therefore probable, watch this, that Africa was formerly inhabited by extinct apes closely aligned to the gorilla and chimpanzee, and as these two species are now man's nearest allies, it is somewhat more probable that our progenitors lived on the African continent than anywhere else. There you have it. He also mentions Albert Churchward, the Victorian scientist that also supported evolution. That's it. And they had an uphill battle. But the point I want to make here of that statement that Charles Darwin said about Africa being a homeland, this was a milestone in science. He had made a scientific prediction, which is the gold standard in science. And that prediction was that later on we will find bones that would prove that Africa is the homeland of us all. And ladies and gentlemen, that prediction came true. I'm gonna finish this off with this right here. One of my favorite books. Dr. Ben's work, Black Man and Now and His Family. If they throw dirt on this damn name, wait a minute. They definitely throw dirt on that man's name, boy. I swear they do, yo. Page 94. Let me see. Let me go back. Let me make sure. Make it big, it's gonna skip. Let me see. Page 94, man. All right. 94. As soon as I make it big, it's going. I get to 94. 1 second. Man. Come on now. Get up to 94 here to the great Dr. Ben. So I never understand how people that support Dr. Ben and how, but yet fight me on the population in Africa and fight me on the evolution of humanity and Homo sapiens sapiens. It actually makes no sense. Here you go on page 94. He talks about the unearthing of Zinthopithecus Boise, man. We talked about that in July 17th, 1959. On the slopes of the Bed 1 in Ondoro Gorge, Tanzania, East Africa, at the site known as FLK, has been to date the most outstanding find in the link to man as we know him today. And this prehistoric ancestor of thousands, also millions of years, the type of man, watch this, Sir Charles Darwin, the Victorian scientist, spoke about the superior and the man and the man-like qualities to Rhodesia Zinthipithecosy man in every respect. So I was introduced to Charles Darwin by Dr. Ben and John G. Jackson. So I'm never understanding why people talk crazy. Why I'm the bad guy in the situation. Maybe y'all should read the whole damn book and stay out the religious aspect of the books. So now we come to the Egyptian aspect of it. Important. The general history of Africa. Most people don't even own these volumes. But it was at this particular junction in time in 1964 at UNESCO, right, where they launched an elaboration of the general history of Africa with the view to remedy the general ignorance on African history. We're still showing high levels of ignorance of African history when we bring in pseudo history of Africa, the wildest thing ever. They was trying to remedy the general ignorance of Africa. The challenge consisted of reconstructing African history, freeing it from racial prejudice ensuing from the slave trade and colonization, and promoting an African perspective. So they set out to do this. They wanted to remedy the ignorance, right, that ensued from the slave trade and colonization. That's one reason why we don't use the colonized thought when explaining indigenous populations in Africa. But it started right here at the UNESCO project. It said UNESCO therefore called upon the then utmost African and non-African experts. These experts' work represented 35 years of cooperation between more than 230 historians and other specialists, and was overseen by the international scientific community, which comprised 2/3 Africans. Why the hell am I reading this? Because it produced works like this. Produce works like this. Fossil Man. Let's see. Let me go up here. Hold on. What is this right here? Talking about evolution. So I had to teach evolution because the great works, the Cairo Symposium is based off of the great works, is based off of evolution, is all that. Now watch this. Hold on. Let me get this up right here. Let me do this right here. Okay, so y'all can see it right here. All right, here you go. The General History of Africa. Book 1, Methodology in African Prehistory. See that? You can't just jump straight into Egypt. Now, book 2 is about Egypt. But book 1 is understanding how to get there and how to understand it, how to interpret it, and what tools of measure to get to that truth. Y'all been skipping steps on purpose and then mischaracterizing the whole situation. With the black, they not black, they is black, they black, whatever, they don't come from uncles, they ain't the whole foolery of it all. They was all one color, they was all this. But that's not how we learned it. That's not how academia and scientists did it. That's not how the scientific conference was formed and put together. There has to be an order to things. There has to be a chronology. And we start with method in African prehistory. But I would like to go to chapter 17 real quick, right here. Let me go to 17. Go to 17. Hold on. Let me get there. Go to 17. Fossil Man. I want to go to Fossil Man. Go to Fossil Man. It's important because we're going to end up talking about humans, ain't we? If we talking about humans, you better know what the hell Fossil Man is. Better know what a fossil is. You better know who Charles Darwin is, or you're going to mess it up. Norman Pallet there. Look, it's all in there. Old works. Hold on, let me get here. 13. Nope. Historiography. That's another thing, man. Learn damn geography, y'all. Learn human technology, y'all. This book settles all that. It puts you in the right space. Let me get to 17 real quick. Why am I going to 17? Because when I do it, I'm the bad guy. But this is what the experts do. All these maps and stuff in there. You can get the book. Y'all can get the whole thing. Page 189. What did it say? It say Charles Darwin, back to Darwin again, was the first scientist to publish a modern theory of evolution and the origins of man. Then he said, but wait a minute. In John Jackson's work, he said Charles Darwin was the first person to talk about evolution. He's right. But Darwin was the first person to publish a scientific theory on it. See the difference? I wanted to get that out the way for somebody dove out the window and crashed and burned. It says Charles Darwin was the first scientist to publish a modern theory of evolution and the origins of man. It was Darwin who first pointed to Africa as the home of man, and research over the past 100 years has shown how correct he was. Many aspects of Darwin's pioneering work have been substantiated, and to consider evolution merely as a theory is no longer realistic because it's a theory and a fact. And then basically, maybe I should have made that bigger. Y'all can see it. But basically, Africa and the cradle of mankind. So we got a lot of black geologists and a lot of people howling and screaming about Africa being a homeland and the motherland, meaning that when you say Africa is the motherland, they mean everybody came from it, but yet you deny evolution. And yet you get into the Egyptians conversations and they all mess it up because they don't understand this. That's the problem. That's why we argue. We wouldn't actually argue if we understood evolution. It would be no argument. The arguments would cease. You would understand why skin color reigns. You would get it. So why am I bringing this up? Why am I bringing up UNESCO? Because there's something essential that occurred in UNESCO. Very essential. So at UNESCO, the Declaration of Race and Racial Prejudice. This particular conference occurred in 1978. But I want to go a little more. I want to go far. I want to go a little more ahead. I want to go back a little bit. Why am I using UNESCO? Well, we all should know about the Cairo Symposium to which Theophile Bango and Shigant Diop was at. That was the Cairo Symposium, right? Sponsored by UNESCO. So there's certain things you're not going to be able to get off because they had already made statements. Look, statement in 1950. So in the 1950s, okay, UNESCO, the one to put together the scientific conference, right, had actually put together statements on race, right? The 4 statements on the question of race. This is essential in understanding what the mode was or what the reasoning was behind the Cairo Symposium. And certain things wouldn't be able to get through because they would be against these statements of race. Yeah, we putting it together and we cooking with hot grease. Okay? The biological aspect of the racial question. All right? The stress, as stressed in the statement on race and racial prejudice in 1967, I was born in. The basic cause of racialism are economic and social. However, those who show racial discrimination justify their attitude by ideas and illustrations taken from biology on the one hand, and the belief that there are innate value differences between humans groups on the other hand, the representation of the heredity and characteristics of the members of these groups in form of stereotypes is in the racialist view, not only is one group their own naturally superior to all other groups, but Any member of their own group is superior to any member of the other. This belief goes hand in hand with the hostility, right? The intrusion of inferior blood into the genetic inheritance of the group with which they identify themselves. Stop right there. Y'all got to get this and read this. Let me find the first statement on it. Hold on. That's the social aspect of it. This is a great read for y'all. You ain't got to argue with me. Go argue with them. Statement 1. This was happening in 1950, and they made it after the Great War. What was the Great War? Adolf Hitler. World War II. What was they fighting over? One aspect of it, they was fighting over Hitler considered themselves to be racially superior. He said it was the great Nordic race. Blonde hair and blue eyes. Said they was the master race. So it was racism that fueled Nazi Hitler. It was racism that put 6 million Jews in concentration camps and in ovens. It was racism that enslaved 12 million Africans, snatched them out of Africa. It was the color racism. It was the fact that they said they was inferior. But it's this first statement made publicly by anybody of worth was in 1950. It says scientists have reached a general agreement. Not the black community, not the white community, not the people in Harlem, Baltimore, Russia somewhere, but the community of scientists all over the world. Scientists have reached a general agreement in recognizing that mankind is one. Coming right out of the playbook of Charles Darwin, that all men belong to the same species. See what I'm saying? So see Darwin, my fault, see Theophile Banger and Diop's and them, right? When they use those racialized terms, that would mean there was some type of separation. And that's why they weren't able to get that off. Let me finish. Homo sapiens. It is further generally agreed amongst scientists that all men are probably derived from the same common stock, and that such differences exist between different groups of mankind are due to, what's this, operation of evolutionary factors of differentiating, such as isolation, drift, and random fixation of the material particles which control heredity. Boom. The genes. Changing in the structure of these particles, hybridization, and natural selection. In these ways, groups have arisen of varying stability and degree in differentiation, which have been classified in different ways for different purposes. 2. From the biological standpoint, the species Homo sapien is made up of a number of populations, each one of which differs from the other in frequency of one or more genes. Such genes responsible for the heredity differences between men are always few when compared to the whole genetic constitution of man, and to the vast number of genes common to all humans being, regardless of the population to which they belong. This means that the likeness amongst men are far greater than their differences. Stop right there. Nobody's getting past that. The 4th point in the statement, though, says, in short, the term race designates a group or population characterized by some concentrations relative as to the frequency and distribution of heredity, particles, genes, and genes, or physical characteristics which appear to fluctuate and often disappear in the course of time by reasons of geographic and of cultural isolation. I'm going to stop right there. But it's all here in 1950. And I said they made 4 statements. I'm not going to read all the 4 statements. I'm not going to do you like that. Statement on the nature of race and differences. That's 2. Then 3 goes into the point. Most of y'all not going to read this. I get it. Download the damn document in ChatGPT so it can give you a general understanding of it. Proposal on the biological aspects of race, 1964. Is all in the game. Statement on race and racial prejudice, 1967, right? So they start to go, all right, 1967, I believe that was that. That's it. So if you're serious about this thing, then you're going to really study this thing. The Wikipedia article right here. UNESCO statements on race, they're all here. The 1950 statement, right? I think it's important for me to read this because I said it. The statement on race is the first statement on race issued by UNESCO. The first statement issued on race was by UNESCO. It was issued on July 18th, 1950. What, y'all? Following the Great War. What's the Great War? Following World War II and the Nazi racism to clarify what was scientifically known about race and has a moral condemnation of racism. There you go. All right. Some of the players. All right. Fighting against the prejudice of race. Might not like them. Okay. UNESCO made a moral statement. Concern for human dignity demands that all citizens be equal before the law and that they share equality in the advantages assured them by the law, no matter what their physical and intellectual differences be. Bam. There you go. What are we doing here? Yeah. You can open up the floor, we can get into the Egyptian thing. Now I think the stage is actually set, right? We know the players that actually dealt with the Cairo Symposium. You know what I'm saying? And now we know why. Watch this. Finish with this. This is why you can come to this. Watch this. Funny. This is my favorite right here. I've been beating them up with this for years. This is what I've been beating them up with for years. Right here, y'all. Hold on. Let me show the thing. I always use this because I knew I had all the daggone firepower behind that. Go to Wikipedia. Get this. Hold on. The position. Get this right here. Look. The ancient Egyptian race controversy. I dare you read the whole thing. I double D triple dare you. I double triple dare you to read it. You don't see who was close to what they supposed to have been teaching the people by reading this. We get over here on the sidebar. We click this. We want to go to the position of modern scholarship. My, oh, my. What do we have here? Watch this. My, oh, my, oh, my. My, oh, my. The arguments for all sides, we're talking about the Cairo Symposium, are recorded in the UNESCO publication, The General History of Africa, with the origin of the Egyptian chapter being written by Theops, a proponent of the Black hypothesis. Diop's chapter was credited in the general conclusion of the symposium report by International Scientific Committee, Repertoire, John Devisi. Did I say that right? Devisi. As painstakingly researched contribution. Consequently, there were a real lack of balance in the discussion amongst the participants. And watch this. At the 1974 UNESCO conference, several participants, other than, we know what the word other than means, other than, Diops and Obanga concluded that the Neolithic Egyptian population was indigenous to the Sahara and was made up of people, watch this, from north, that would be North Africa, and south, that would be sub-Saharan Africa, of the Sahara. We've heard Negro pens holler to the top of their lungs, oh, ain't nobody no EJ1 for no South Louisiana, they but they. We heard them say it. We couldn't understand it because they probably was drinking. But right here amongst the scholars, in 1974, it say it was made up of people from north and south of the Sahara who had a range of skin colors. The majority of participants in the conference disagreed with Diop's and Obanga's views. I'm going to stop right there. I'm going to stop right there and I'm going to bust you in the head with this. Bang. The ancient Egyptians. The Brooklyn Museum. What's significant about the Brooklyn Museum? Because it says the ancient Egyptians were indigenous to African people who first appeared in southern Upper Egypt, Nile Valley, for 4,500 BCE and spread northward to Lower Egypt, joined by 5,000 years of other Africans from Nubia, Libya, and as well Semites, Persians, Greeks, Romans. Their distinctly multicultural society produced an astonishing array of objects and structures. But can we support with certainty? Can we support with certainty that the population that came out of the Green Sahara peopled the Nile Valley? Is my screen still sharing? Can you see it?
Yeah.
You can see the thing, right?
Yeah. What you got up? Yeah.
Does this say African ancestors of Egypt and Nubia from the Green Sahara?
It says ancient Egypt. We got a picture of an Egyptian.
No. All right. I got to do this. Hold on. Nope. Probably got to do like this. Hold on. All right. Got to stop sharing. Gotta come back here. Because we just read that. Can you verify that I just read that the people was purporting that the Cairo was supposed that it came from the Green Sahara? You remember me saying that, right?
Right.
Okay. Experts, not me. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Make sure it just wasn't me getting lucky, huh? Maybe I'm just a lucky nigga. Who knows? Let me see, can I? Oh, I know what I gotta do. Hold on. I gotta do this. I got this thing figured out, boy. Here we go. All right, here we go. Bam. All right, there we go. You see that soul of mine?
Yeah.
What'd that say?
It says African ancestors of Egypt and Nubia, from the Green Sahara to the Nile.
What's the date?
That says the 30th of April, 2022. December 31st December 2030.
That's how long it's gonna be there. For everybody that ran their damn mouth and everybody was talking crazy and I don't know what you're talking about, I used the same damn sources. I'm supporting the 1974 conclusion. You know what I'm saying? Right here. This is what's in the museum. They was already on the case. Now, the beauty of Diop's was that he was saying, yo, they was indigenous Africans. He didn't understand about the Sahara part. Didn't know that. He wasn't on that side. He didn't agree with that. But the beauty of his work was he was capturing the essence that they was African. That's why he's in the Met Museum. He's not in the Met Museum from coming up with that they was Negroes and they was no, that didn't get off. But everybody keeps saying that. But I read it, so I'm not saying that's what the records is saying. If you come right here, just say African ancestors from Egypt and Nubia, from the Green Sahara. This is actually from the display. I don't want to read none of that. Hold on, I'm going to read this. Located on the African continent, Egypt is nevertheless often perceived as being part of the Near East. While it ties with various Near Eastern cultures, see, it don't leave it out. in both ancient and modern times are well established. So we don't got to talk about that. It's Egypt's deep African roots and profound religious, artistic, and linguistic connection to other African cultures have often been overlooked. Alternative theories arguing, regarding the origins of pharaonic civilization, often guided by racist assumptions, have omitted the African context altogether. See, that's what Diop was trying to fight for. And instead proposed an idea ranging from invading white race to extraterrestrials. See what I'm saying? From early on, Egypt was a multicultural society with significant disparities between various regions of the country. Do y'all get that? It's from early on, Egypt was a multicultural society with significant disparities between various regions of the country. So in different places on the Nile, this shit differed. Throughout the existence of pharaonic Egypt, Egyptians traded and exchanged ideas with and incorporated migrants from neighboring African populations, including Nubia, which would be considered sub-Saharan Africa, the nappy hair, modern Sudan, Libya, Punt, likely modern Ethiopia, and numerous other cultures of the ancient world. And no, I'm not saying that all Nubians got nappy hair, because I know they have run that. Let me get that out the way. Archaeological excavations, along with anthropological and linguistic research, indicate that the Nile Valley was originally settled by nomadic people escaping the drying climate of the Green Sahara. The earliest inhabitants of Egypt, Nubia, and the Libyan desert produced similar types of tools, pottery, and religious imagery, pointing to their common African origin. The traditions and language of the Saharan Neolithic population largely shaped the development of ancient Egypt and Nubia into the great civilizations we know today. In fact, many traits that were once viewed as essentially Egyptian were first attested in Nubia and are thus rooted in there and in the desert cultures. What's up? Man, y'all ain't give me nothing to drink, y'all. Wow. No, let me say, hold on, my fault. Kids just came in. It says traditions and language of this Saharan Neolithic population largely shaped the development of ancient Egypt and Nubia into the great civilizations we know today. In fact, many traits that were once viewed as essentially Egyptian were first attested in Nubia and are thus rooted there and in the desert culture. So the desert cultures in Nubia to their south and west of Egypt. The nomadic pastoral way of life adapted in Egypt, please know what the word adapted is in Egypt, and other North African cultures was first established by the most most ancient Nubian peoples. Similarly, the shared vocabulary of Afro-Asiatic languages, which includes the ancient Egyptian, points to the origin of these languages to the south of Egypt. Funny. Ancient Nubian society developed alongside and close contact with Egypt. The two cultures mutually influenced each other. So we got a bunch of Negropeans wilding out, not giving the true context to who Nubia was and what role they played. The two cultures mutually influenced each other. It's important to know they mutually influenced each other. That's on both sides of the damn argument. They influenced each other, shared many similarities and traditions. Until recently, however, many European and white American historians saw Nubia as Egypt's inferior neighbor. We heard black people saying it. Excavations of Nubian sites in the late 20th century revealed as excavations, revealed a thriving and sophisticated culture that developed independently, notwithstanding its close relationship with Egypt. The mighty kingdoms of ancient Nubia, in turn, established a trade network with Iron Age West African cultures. It say today, the legacy of ancient Egypt and Nubia is evident in the early elements of religion and rituals that persist in many later African cultures. We're closing it out. Ancient Egyptian and African culture. The ancient Egyptians were an African people who first appeared in the Nile Valley around 4000 BCE and created the distinctive culture. Egyptologists no longer maintain, I'm gonna say this again, Egyptologists no longer maintain the false hypothesis that light-skinned outsiders created Egyptian culture. I'm gonna stop right there because I can do that.
All right. So I seen a couple of people that was in the back that dropped off. I was just letting Uncle Cat finish the presentation.
You could have just let them up. I was good with
that. Just go ahead and hit the link, and I'll bring you up at this time. All right. So we do have a person. Is there anybody in there? Is there anybody in? Let me see. Okay. Let's bring them up. Goes by the name.
Hey, yo, I know how to stay out the chat, right? But we got some mean people in the chat, yo. But keep them in there, yo.
Now, hold on. Is it disrespectful mean in there?
Nah, I can handle disrespect. Yo, I'm used to it, yo. You know when high level information meets ignorance, yo. You know what I'm saying? It makes people get like that, yo. You know what I'm saying? When they don't understand what you're saying, when it's too much, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Any disrespectful comments will be sent.
Nah. I'm good. Let them have their fun. Let them get off their chest. They can't get it with the intellect. So you gotta allow them to use the only tool they got. You know what I'm saying? If you take that away from them, then what they got? Because they ain't got no sources to support them. They ain't got no reasons behind it. They ain't got no logic behind it. They ain't got the anthropological studies. They don't understand evolution. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't mad that you call me Uncle Ruckus, because that ain't gonna really get me. What get me is that you can't support that with an intelligent conversation on the subject. So who we got up here?
All right, we got Chris MVP Harris in the building. What's going on?
What's going on?
Question or comment for Uncle Cat?
Yeah, I got a couple of questions for Ankh real quick. Ankh, I do agree with evolution. Me and you've had arguments, drag out fights, cussed each other out over the phone, back chats about evolution. So I have no quarrel with you there. My question
to you was wrong right there. Then you finally admitting you was wrong on that. Let me hear you say it.
Were you wrong for striking my channel, Ankh, because you defended some Chinese food, bitch? No, you're never going to admit that either. As if I can't have a scholastic opinion because I was tearing down your presentation scholastically and academically without any ad hominems. And you allowed an Asian woman to come on there and call it sub-Saharan. No.
Wait. Let's
no, don't cut him off.
No, wait. Oh,
Just let me and him. We ain't doing that solo. We good. We good.
Me
and him have had this conversation already on my platform, and you allowed her to call us sub-Saharan Africans, which actually contradicts you guys' entire stance as it pertains to Egyptians being called black. I can't recall throughout the history of West Africa any West African tribe calling themselves sub-Saharan, especially when we can't figure out what's so sub about them, especially when we see certain countries within Central Africa be called sub-Saharan. That's why I'm a little upset with you, but we've gone past that. And I'm not going to allow any Asian woman to sit up there and slander African peoples, especially when they are there now stealing the resources. She has no business calling them that. And I felt like you should have checked that on the on that live stream when you were there. They have names, they have tribal affiliations, they have clan affiliations in which you could have corrected her on that. But that's neither here nor there. Was I wrong about evolution in the past? Of course. Yeah, I was really wrong about that. So we got bones, we got anthropology, we have the study of stone tool making. So yes. But my question to you is
my turn. Hold the fuck up.
Go ahead.
First of all, there was an expert invited to our channel, right? We invited him to our home, and she's afforded the protection of our home. We treat guests like guests. The term sub-Saharan Africa is actually subjective, okay? And the use of it, right, may be offensive to some people, but it's actually a term that they will use in science. So I have no issue with that. Although I don't prefer the term, but it's not a term that is offensive to me. Okay, so you're not the judge of who or what I allow people to say, right? Let the channel be the judge of that. The reason your fucking channel got struck because you went off like a nut. There was no problem with the fair critique, but the microwave, the Chinese person, it was disrespectful to the experts that we bring on. I will not allow disrespectful to people that I bring in my home. I will not allow disrespect to the people that we bring into the pseudo killers. That's our home. And we will treat them as such, as guests. Now, if you get it on your channel, right, then you can do what you want to do. So your channel got struck for disrespect of guidelines and rules and regulations that we laid down, not of anything of your making. Now, let's go on to the next question. And you should have looked me in my face while I was talking like I looked you in your face. You always running. Let's get it on.
Not really always running. I just think what you had to say there was irrelevant.
But you disrespectfully turned out. So let's get you the question.
No,
we both just talked. Let's move forward. The conversation.
Okay, let's move forward on that.
Right, because I didn't cut you out when you came on here, did I? Nope.
You sure didn't.
Right.
So
next time I catch you, I will. But right now we're cordial because we're on Solar Minds channel. Next time I got you. I don't want the audience to think that we some kind of way smoke the peace pipe, because we have not. But let's move on. Let's be cordial as gentlemen, sir. Now, what is your question that's going to cause you to get beat up on that? What's up?
Well, if you can allow me to talk, dear Robert West, I would certainly ask you that.
Love that name. Okay. My mother gave it to me. I ain't ashamed of it, brother. Now, go ahead.
Okay, very good. Do you have to understand evolution in order to understand Egyptology?
That's part of Egyptology, understanding evolution.
Okay, can you show us the a book that somehow uses both the study of evolution as it pertains to Egyptology?
Come on, yo. What you doing?
So we can see the methodology on that.
Hold on, man.
Sure.
Keep talking.
And two, I want to go back into it. I'm not subject to your channel's rules.
You're not.
It's the same.
Right.
It's no different. Right. It's no different. Wait, you said keep talking. And it's no different than you running around calling everybody else pseudo. They can see that as an insult, and I'm pretty sure they never struck your channel because you called them pseudo. So I'm not subject to the rules of your panels when I do my show. And you came up there and we spoke cordially. So I don't know why you're saying any of that. And I'm going to just be honest with you. You're not going to be able to find that book, because by the time ancient Egyptians began to create their own society, or Africans began to create their own societies, they were Homo sapiens sapiens at this point in time. There's no need to be talking about Australopithecus or any other ancient hominid that doesn't have any tools to create the pyramids or any of the other superstructures they make. So it's irrelevant. I think your presentation lacks cohesion. It seems to be a little bit all over the place. So my next question to you is, because you ain't gonna find it, it's not out there.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna wait for you to show it.
So
and what does modern academia say about sources that are older than 5 years old?
Outdated.
It's outdated. So you were presenting the UNESCO conference, which was some 45 years ago, 50 years ago. Yeah. At that, you were presenting commentary about Africa. Am I correct?
Correct.
Okay, so some of those things from 1960 have been corrected. Am I correct?
Absolutely.
Okay, did we have a lot of bias racism that was still preeminent at the UNESCO conference?
Yeah, they threw them niggas out early.
They threw them. What do you mean?
Yeah,
who are the niggas? I don't get
they
that.
threw the people. They didn't address the idea. They threw that shit out of hand. They was like the people that said the Egyptians was white. They got kicked out. They didn't even accept it.
Okay.
So if you was trying to come in there with that, you was done. And it says it right there.
Okay, I'm gonna pull something up real quick too, because I think you're hiding your hand and you're being a bit academically dishonest right now.
You asking a lot of things. Hold on. So this is what I want to say.
Yeah, keep talking. That's what I do.
No, brother. I'm answering your question. Now, I don't know about showing a book, but I want to read this to you.
If you don't have a book, I don't care about what it is you have to read. I asked you for a book so I can get the book and possibly read it myself.
No, all you gotta do is get any book on
It doesn't exist.
No, I never said a book existed.
But so you said you have to understand evolution.
Hold on. Get the book, the Oxford Handbook of Egyptology, my nigga. Get the book Egypt Today, edited by Richard X. Wilkins, my nigga. Get archaeology theories, methods, and practices, homeboy. Get journals, articles, academic journals such as the Journal of Egyptology and Archaeology, American Anthropology, and Antiquity. Often explore intersections of Egyptology and anthropology, particularly in the areas like bioarchaeology, cultural anthropology, and linguistic studies, my nigga. Get the book of the Archaeology of Ancient Egypt, my nigga. So yes, Egyptologists use anthropology to understand Egypt. Now, what's the next point, my nigga? What's good? Who you think?
You know what? I got nothing but love for you. We go at it.
Yeah, we have fun. We go. Next question, my nigga.
Let's talk, my nigga.
Next question.
First of all, you haven't showed any of the research in those books to define.
Now I gotta show you that.
You just naming those books off mean nothing.
Oh man, I gave them the sources.
Can I finish talking?
You crazy, yo. I ain't gonna do this all night, though.
See,
we ain't doing this all night. You asked for books, I gave them to you. You mad?
No.
You want the book? Let me get the book for you. Let me get the book.
Is it okay if I finish?
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
All right, thank you.
This is good content, right?
Let's keep going, right? Let's go here. During your presentation, how come you just didn't show the study of evolution as it pertains and relates to the study of Egyptology and show us your methodology concerning that? How come you just didn't show that?
I did.
Is
that a question?
Can I finish phrasing phrasing this here? Thank you. Wonderful. So how come you just didn't show that and show us the methodology surrounding that? I think, honestly, it was a poor demonstration of cohesion because people were in the chat not understanding what you were talking about.
Nah, let me share my screen. Yo, you tripping.
Yo,
you doing the slow bus, yo. You gotta move a little bit quicker. I thought you knew better. It's called Egyptian.
I got my source ready to dagger this up.
Excuse me. Egyptian Archaeology and Social Anthropology. Oxford Academic. It's got a PDF to it, bro.
Let me change my glasses here. Go ahead.
Here you go. Egyptian Archaeology and Social Anthropology. I thought you knew that anthropology was the study of culture, yo, and contained in that is archaeology, is anthropology, the study of the bones, the ruins, the whole 9 yards. It's the study of culture, bro. So why wouldn't that be a tool using Egyptology? I cannot believe you even would do that, yo. Like, I can't believe you don't even know that. I can't believe you came up here, challenged me on some shit you supposed to know. Man, what are you saying?
I'm sorry, the study of anthropology is the study of ancient cultures. The study of anthropology is not necessarily the study of evolution. That is two different sciences here. So let's move on. That was a nice try, though. That was a very nice try. Yeah, so you did it like them Hebrews be doing it,
No, I mean, hold on for a minute. Hold on for a minute.
Oh, let me finish.
Hold on for a minute.
Go right ahead.
Bro, when they dig up bones, they want to know what type of bones they are, bro. That's evolution. When you start to look at different bones, different hominids, different things, they found ancient bones, 300,000. They found Homo erectus on the Nile. That's still in Egypt, bro. I'm just trying to feel you're not making that connection between the bones. I just showed you bones in my presentation. That's part of understanding it. They taking the gene, they take the genome. Sir. No, they take the genome up out of that. That's all part of the anthropological study. That is not. That's part of anthropological study.
That is, excuse me, the study of bones is called osteontology.
Right, but that's still part of evolution.
That is incorrect.
It is part of the study of bones. Is part of the study, man. What you saying, bro? You can't even get to it. That's how Charles Darwin made his reckoning by finding ancient bones. Am I wrong?
I'm gonna continue to let you overtalk me.
I'm saying, did Charles Darwin find bones?
Okay,
of ancient apes, yes or no?
Charles Darwin. We're talking about
Charles Darwin. Listen, in his theory, in his theory of evolution, the way he figured it out was through ancient bones, bro. Am I wrong in that? So I'm telling you, whenever you try to identify the population, you're going to figure out, well, what population was there? Was it Homo erectus? Was it Homo naledi? What population was there? Okay, it's Homo sapiens sapiens. We've identified that, right? And so they look at the different types. They studied the skulls. They did all that. Anyway, I ain't gonna argue with you. What's your next question? We'll let the audience figure that out. What's your next question?
What you're trying to do?
I'm not. What's your next question?
Excuse me, I know it's a little bit of pressure on you, bro.
I'm just saying, what's your next question? What's your next question?
You can understand that the study of bones, yes, the study of bones does have to do with evolution. But you're pulling bones out of the ground exclusively, that's just the study called osteology. That's it.
We get that, bro. But I want you to know.
Say that.
I want you to know your question. Hold on. I want to know what you. I want to know. I want to let you know what your question was.
Excuse me.
You said hold on. You said the Egyptologists don't use anthropology. That was your question. Did you not say that?
Excuse me,
Did you not say that?
For the sake of the conversation.
No, did you not say that?
What did I say,
You said the Egyptologists don't use anthropology. Where's the book?
No, I did not say that. I said, do you have to understand evolution in order to understand Egyptology and the study of Egyptian culture?
I stand corrected. You did say that.
Okay.
And I'm saying, if you want to understand the skin color of if you want to understand the skin color of the Egyptians, right? That being the order of understanding evolution, understanding where at was this skin color at, right? And so you use the studies of Jablonski, right? That's part of the evolution of skin, bro. So you have to, if you're trying to determine the skin color of the individuals, that would be evolution, bro. I don't know why you're doing this, but continue.
I'm sorry, I haven't even gotten into skin color yet because the Egyptians themselves or the Africans themselves presented themselves on the wall. They showed you how they look.
Different study.
Hold on. One of the things I notice is you lack discipline. Every time I speak, you begin to speak with me, and that's an old tactic that we used to do.
You know what? I'm gonna make sure I don't do that going forward. But go ahead, brother. So I know I got you on the evolution part, but go ahead. And I'm enjoying the conversation. Great content. Go ahead.
Cool,
go ahead, brother.
Wonderful.
So what's your next question?
Wonderful.
What's your next question?
Wonderful.
And do you know the name of the show though?
Yeah, it was called something pertaining to the misidentification of the Egyptians during the age, and you changed it.
Yeah, to the understanding of evolution. To understand evolution, right? Understand evolution and understand the Egyptian population. I want you to know that.
Right. So let's talk about how about we stop this and let's talk about the ancient Egyptian population.
No, I want the audience just clear that when you start dealing with genetics and all that, that's dealing with evolution. That's how you understand evolution is through genetics these days, right? The different variations, the mixture, all that is understanding Egyptian population. So I don't know why you think that ain't that, but I don't evolutionary biology. Like I don't
agree. I'm gonna be honest. I don't agree with nothing you say. So you don't have to gerrymander that on.
Move on. That was for the audience. Move on. What's your next question? Move on. What's your next question?
I try to, but you keep interfering.
Go ahead.
Trying to cover up for your past mistakes that you've made in this presentation.
Well, if I made some mistakes, then I'll definitely change them. That's not a problem.
No,
but you haven't identified the mistakes.
That's what academics do.
Right, but you have not identified the mistakes in it yet.
I have. You don't have to understand evolution in order to understand Egyptology. It's two separate disciplines there.
I agree. It's multifaceted, multidisciplinary. I agree that.
All right. So the best ones, hominids weren't running around building pyramids. So all that other stuff.
Of course not. But evolution ain't just on a hominid. But
completely irrelevant to the topic.
Okay, I'll let you know when it's relevant. Keep going. Okay, I'll let you. Don't talk about skin.
Talk about ancient, but I've been trying to get to ancient Egyptian populations.
Right, but don't talk about the populations then, because if you're talking about humans and you're talking about biology, if you're talking about biology and you understand biology, right, through evolutionary biology, humans. So don't talk about
sorry.
humans.
I'm sorry. I'm not educated.
Yeah, don't talk about humans.
I don't know anything.
Don't bring up the subject of humans in Egypt
what
right
I want
now.
to ask you is, because a lot of your, matter of fact, do me a favor, pull that presentation that you just pulled up, put that back on the screen. I want to read something here.
What?
That last slide that you had up, I want to read something there.
You mean on the what? On the
last slide that you had up before Solar Mind went into the Q&A part. I want to read something here that you put up there. Can you put that back up, please?
What's your question, though, y'all?
I would just like to read something real quick. We're challenging one another.
Hey, Solar Mind, you gotta put the thing up.
You're not sharing yet. Yeah, you're not sharing yet.
I know. Hold on. I'm gonna get the. Let me get there. Click out some of these things.
Because I would like to talk to you about the Paleolithic age and the migrations that came, the back to Africa migrations here. When we get done.
What's wrong with the back to Africa migration?
I didn't say anything was wrong with it. Aren't you? You shouldn't be so defensive. I'm not up here trying to snipe you.
Hey, Chris.
You're questioning your method.
Hey, Chris, you sound like you hurt, bro.
No, not at all.
All right, then, so why are you talking about it? Here you go. What's up? What you want to read?
Okay, let's pull that up.
That's it. It's pulled up.
It's not on the screen. All right, can you press share? I want to read this here. The one before that. Yeah, this is fine. Okay, can you hit share so I can see that larger?
I can't make it no larger.
Oh, you can't make it no larger? Okay, I'll teach you how to do a presentation one day.
It's going to bog down my computer, but go ahead.
Okay. All right. You want me to send you a new one? I got two of them.
Yeah,
it's the 19th and
yeah, send that.
Okay. Well, just give me a call, give me your information, and I'll send it to you free of charge.
Make sure you send that.
I will do that. I promise you.
All right.
19th and early. I send one person one. Trust me. It says 19th and early 20th century historians largely interpreted the archaeological evidence on the African continent through a racist filter that rejected the notion that Africans could create a high civilization. Today, Egyptologists have data that clearly shows that Egyptian culture was invented by indigenous people in southern Egypt and spread towards the Mediterranean Sea around 3000 BCE. This evidence includes distinctive jars and bowls like those to your left. The decoration on these vessels first appeared in southern Egypt by 3400 BCE and then by 3000 BCE. It's found in the north. During this period, rectangular house designs from the south replaced earlier oval houses in the north. At the same time, distinctive southern oval-shaped graves began to appear in the north, replacing the northern shallow pit graves. A southern cult that centered on the cattle worship was so transferred northward in this time period. Archaeologists cannot determine from this kind of evidence whether this cultural change was peaceful or the result of conquest through the time, though some evidence for fortified towns such as conflict. Okay, so what we're having here is, I agree with this 100%.
Me too. That's why I showed it.
This starts towards Nubia, below, towards between the first, second, and third cataract. This is where these the indigenous populations formed. Would you agree with that?
But the thing tell you right there is say in southern Egypt, yo.
In southern Egypt. So that would be
Nubia is in southern Egypt.
And the third cataract, right?
No, southern
That's
Egypt.
How you got to understand the cataracts to understand what this means, because there's no real source on here for this.
No, so yeah, that's the Brooklyn Museum. That is a real damn source. It's the Brooklyn Museum.
No, I didn't see the source on here, is what I'm telling you.
Okay, well, the first cataract is the beginning of where you start to hit like Nubia. It's to the first, but then there's no real border. So modern borders.
There isn't. You're right.
Okay, all right, and so there's no fence where people would just stop. There's a gradation, but go ahead, bro.
Okay, so we have the Paleolithic age, which was what, 50,000 years ago? Okay, so the Paleolithic age, you had migrations from the Levant that came in and began to mix with the indigenous populations in North Africa. Am I correct? Okay, so at this point in time, you get a mixture of the indigenous populations versus the migrations coming from the Levant.
Can I take this down though? Is that cool?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Mm-hmm. All right, go ahead.
All right. So a lot of times when I hear you guys talking, you guys are speaking about
you guys. Just keep it with me because that's my source. Right? Reggie went to the museum, took the pictures, and I'm the first nigga to show that. That's my source. So you ain't gonna beat me up on something I bought did agree with you. Just say, damn nigga, I ain't know. You got me on that one.
You didn't get me on shit.
Well, nigga, I bought the source.
You've been all over the internet saying that
saying this.
We've been saying they
Man,
were.
I've been saying this, bro. I've been saying this right here. Come on, Chris.
No, you haven't.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
No, you haven't. No, you haven't.
Can I tell you what's been happening, yo? Or do you want to fight and argue?
Because every time I notice whenever you get hurt,
you want me
punch to the
I'm
gut.
not hurt. I'm not hurt, yo.
You start interrupting me.
Come on, yo. I'm not interrupting you now, yo. And oh, by the way, yo, this is my presentation.
You right.
So I'm allowing you as a guest, my nigga. I won't pull the golden card on you.
Yo. You right about that.
Okay, so I'm letting you get your thing off, nigga. Right? Because I know I'm timing up for you. But watch this. Check it out. Here's the difference. You got people like Smash, you got Brother Reggie, right? You got Chief X, okay, and you got other guys, right, that are making different arguments, right? And they seem to blend together sometimes, right? But when you separate it completely, like you should, because this is what I'm doing, right? Then you can clearly say what I'm saying, see what I'm saying. Everything that I showed you is how I reach my conclusions based off of expertise. Okay, now this particular document that you're reading actually refutes the point you made about outdated sources. So yes, UNESCO will be considered old, but that's why I brought an up-to-date 2023 source to support what they said in 1974 about coming out of Sahara. Hold on, bro. Right? That's why I did that. So I've never said nothing different than this, bro. You just don't understand it because this is my source. These are the things I've been saying. Matter of fact, these are the exact same things I've been saying for the last 3 years, bro. That's all I'm saying. Now, everybody else, somebody else say, well, yo, you know, they was black, and we getting to all that. But this is what I've been saying. This is not new, Chris. It's just getting merged together at times, bro. That's cool. But understand that me and you agree with my source that I bought, and everything I said goes exactly with my source.
Since we since we agree with this source, and you brought up the UNESCO, remember Shank Auntie Joe had been arguing the same thing in which you just presented right there.
No, he didn't. I can show you. It's right here. Remember, you move slow. Look, here you go. It's right here, yo. It's right here. Look, bing. Bing. He was arguing for the Africanness, bro. But right here, it said, he was all, that was his fun. Yeah, he was saying it was Negroes and it was just one monogeneous population. He was wrong with that.
Wait a minute.
But where he was right was.
Wait a minute. Here we go.
Let me read this for you.
Wait a minute. They weren't?
No, let me read this for you.
No, look. I'm asking you, they weren't?
No, let me read this for you. Listen, look, at the 1974 UNESCO conference, several participants, other than, I hope we don't got to argue in the other than, whatever follows the other than, that means it's different from what was said by several other participants. Can we agree to that? Yes. Other than Diop's and Obanga concluded. So other people concluded besides Theophile Banga and Diop's concluded that the Neolithic Egyptian population was indigenous to the Sahara. See? And was made up of people from north and south of the Sahara who had a range of skin colors. Theophile Bang and them said they was black. They was all dark skinned, bro. That's what they was basically trying to say, and that they was Negroes, bro. Okay. That's all I'm saying, bro. It's cool. It's a good conversation back then. That's not the option. I think the mistakes people make. Hold on. I think the mistakes people make is, and one thing about you, right? You'll learn. You just like wilding out, but you'll learn, right? You can do that. You do have the propensity to do that. Not gonna take that from you, bro. You know what I'm saying? But it's okay for Diops and them not to have that measure right there. It's not an issue.
Hold on, you're saying that only I wild out?
No, I'm a wild nigga.
I know. You say when you see my mama, you gonna slap the shit out of her.
No, I'm just talking.
I had to get off. Fights over
hold on. I don't even know your mother. See, y'all gotta stop that, yo. You gotta stop. I don't even. Hey, check this out. I don't even know your mother, yo. That's something I say when you call me a bitch.
I kept telling you that.
I don't know your mom. Yeah, I'm gonna take. Hey, look, I ain't. Look. I shouldn't have said that.
Hey, look.
You should never listen. You should never say something about people mothers. It ain't fair. But I be saying at that point, yo, when I see you, I want you to punch my mouth for saying it. That's what I really be saying, which is crazy. I admit it. All the black people in the audience.
Academic schizophrenia.
Yeah. I like that. Yeah, I'm that. I'll be that. I'm that.
Let me see. First of all, Negro is just a Latin word for black. I think we can agree with that.
Yeah, right.
And when you look at when they say that they arrange from a wide range of skin tones, you can look at me and you and see that you're a brown skinned brother and I'm a light skinned brother. Right. What we have is the European always trying to place himself in Northern Africa because it was a great civilization that they've been wanting to claim since they came over there. All right. You got the Paleolithic age. You got the Neolithic age, and then you have the migrations from across the Mediterranean from, let's just say Europe, from over in Europe, right? Not to mention you have the Arabization of Africa sometimes during the 7th century. So you have all these different migrations coming over there. And many times what I had been hearing, I could be wrong. You wasn't saying this. That was Chief X crazy ass saying that.
Thank you.
Saying things like these people have always been there. Well, yes, DNA does exist, right? Because you have mutation you'll have mutations in our genetics, right? Would you agree with that through different
that's evolution, see?
Right. That's a form of evolution. No knocking that. Right, but
so you saying populations evolved in Egypt?
You was presenting had nothing to do with what we talking about right now. That's what I'm telling your ass. Right.
So you saying them genes didn't mix and people didn't pass on traits, which is part of evolution. Remember, evolution doesn't occur in one person, yo. It's in a population, yo.
Well,
so you saying that population didn't evolve?
Hold on, you're not saying yes.
Okay, thank you. So take it back. That evolution don't got nothing to do with the conversation. Take it back.
Hold on, but you're glossing past the fact that they had their own culture that created certain standards. So the traits were already there.
No, I'm saying the culture is indigenous to Africa, right? But
started at the beginning.
I ain't gonna lie, yo. Hey, Chris.
That's what that source said.
I know, but Chris, hold on. I kind of set you up. I just want to let you know that I did, yo, because I knew you was gonna go into this kind of I knew you wasn't gonna understand what indigenous meant.
I do know what indigenous means.
What does it mean?
Let's pull the definition so everybody can see it. Indigenous.
I don't even want to hit you with the question you can't answer.
Oh, I know what you're gonna say.
What am I saying? What am I gonna say? Go ahead. Let me see how nice you is with it.
All right, indigenous. Let's go here. Let's go here. Solar, share this real quick.
Let me set this up right here. Let me get you. I got him. Coach put me in the game. Fed all into it. Let me see.
Here's the definition. I don't think Solar listening right now. He probably playing NBA Live or some 2K24. Oh, there you go. What's up, Solar? Come on.
Man, let me put some. You ain't got shit up there, bro.
I'm waiting. Oh, okay. Hold on. Let me get him. So we're gonna go to indigenous right here. Boom. Share. All right, here it is right here. Indigenous. Originating or occurring naturally in a particular place. Native. 2, of people inhabiting or existing in a land from the earliest times or from before the arrival of colonists. Do you agree with that definition? Okay. So the local populations that were in North Africa, the northern part of Africa during the Paleolithic period, those groups that came from the Levant, they mixed with the indigenous Africans that were there. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
And it gave these people in the north a distinct look, right?
What you mean? A distinct look?
A distinct look. When you mix a white person and a black person, when they mix, they're going to have a distinct look. If you mix an Arab with an African, the offspring is going to have a distinct look, right?
No, not all the time.
Not all the time. I agree with you, but sometimes it can happen, right?
Yeah, that's part of it.
Okay. All right. So you're saying that these people were no longer Negro because of the admixture?
No, I'm saying the term Negro was scientific racism and shouldn't be used because it was
Okay.
the races in nature. That's why. That's why they stopped using it. The
Mhm.
5 categories of races was Negroid, Caucasoid, Oceania, Native American, and the Islanders. That's 5, right? And so, yeah, that was racist, yo. They said it was 5 different races. It was wrong. And sometimes they said it was 15 races. Some said 40 races. So the term itself is racist in its nature, right? So that's why I wanted to bring you right here. Let me share my screen and bring you
Go
right here
ahead.
real quick, and then
And I'm gonna put mine
let you get
next.
back to where you was at, because I want you to stay right there. I think it's a great point. I would like to come right here to the article is entitled Negroid, right? And it says Negroid, less commonly called Caucasoid. It's a look, an obsolete
Congoid.
racial
Congoid.
Congoid, my fault. Thank you, brother. Congoid is an obsolete racial grouping of various people indigenous to
Indigenous
Africa.
to Africa.
Hold on. South of the area which stretched from the southern Sahara Desert in the west to the African Great Lakes in the southeast, but also is isolated parts of South and Southeast Asia, Negritos. The term derived from the noun disproven, is the disproven conception of race as a biological category. Now let's do this to the side. Now watch this. Let's come to Diops. Let's see what's going on. Diops, Shikant Diop's Negro Primacy. It's a Afrocentrist author. I don't necessarily agree with that. Shikant Diop's contrasted Negroid with Cro-Magnon in his publication Arguing for Negro Primacy. It's a Grimaldi Upper Paleolithic fossil found in Italy in 1901, had been classified as Negroid by Boyle and Wallace in 1921. The identification was obsolete by the 1960s, but was controversially revived by Diops in his work, The African Northern Civilization in 1974, bro, and republished in 1989. So by the time he brought that to UNESCO, he was obsolete, bro. And that's why I'm saying, and that's why I gave the whole order of how they was the first person to make the statements on race, right? That's why I knew you was going to go there. So that's why I actually put in my presentation, right? So I'm trying to show you that they was always against using those terms. And that's why they made the first 5 statements in the history of the world, you know what I'm saying, on race, like publicly, like they put it out there. That was after the Great War, they made these statements, right? So they would never let Diops get that off because it would actually be going against the 5 statements of race. There is no 5 groupings, Negroid included. That's all I was saying, bro. That's my point.
That's cool. So since we're dealing with racism,
no, he can get that wrong. That's cool for him to make that mistake. That's cool, right?
Yeah, he didn't have Shankanji Joe did not have the resources that we have today.
No, they had it back then.
They did not have resources.
They did. They didn't have hold on. Not trying to cut you off, bro, but I want to make sure this shit flow right. No, they didn't have the resources that we had, but the resources they did have made them realize that the use of the term Negroid was wrong.
Okay.
That's
good.
All I'm saying, bro.
Wonderful. So let's go here. Let me.
So that's why I'm saying what I'm saying. Now get back to your point before that, because it was a good point.
Because
about the back migrations.
Okay, we're going to talk about back migration in a minute. But if we're going to be talking about Solar, share my screen real quick.
Don't forget about the back migration back in Africa and indigenous. We're going to put a pin right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh man, I gotta go get a haircut. All right.
Yo, take your hat off. We want to see. Take your hat off.
No,
I think he got like a side head or something, yo. I think that like a piece cut off or some shit.
It's a lot of naps under there, like Duran, but it ain't none of that.
Cut the hair, nigga. You look at you, boy. Go ahead, though. All right, go ahead.
All right, let's go, man. Let's go. All right, go to Rob Rack show. I had my hat off the other day. Nobody couldn't believe it. He got hair.
Oh man, he got hair.
All right,
probably got straight white boy hair, talking crazy.
Share my screen. We're gonna go into the evolution news. I want to be able to relate to Ankh here in this conversation. You know, this brother is an evolutionist.
All day.
He loves scientific formality here. So let's deal with evolution here as it pertains to Ankh's presentation, because we are talking about things that are considered racist here, right? So Solar, can you share my screen? I'm going to hit present. share.
Tied into the Egyptian conversation. Don't be out there on the raft.
And, hey, you started it, so I'm gonna deal with it, right? Because this is I really don't like going back and forth.
Do me a favor though. Do me a favor.
What's up?
Put that link right there in the back group, and I dare you to read that. I'm telling you that. I'm threatening you. Don't read that.
Don't read this.
Yeah, don't read that. Put the link right here.
But this has his quotes in here. That's why I read it.
Damn. But put it right there in the back chat. You see it?
Yeah, I'll put it back there for you.
No, right now before you start reading, I want to read with you. Go ahead. Make sure you ain't cheating,
bro.
But I'm threatening you. Don't.
Hold on. What? Am I known to do that? No. My audience know I don't do that.
Hey, Juju, hey, Cedric, and Juju, look what that man got up on that screen, yo. Tell him, threaten him, say, don't read that. Don't tell. I'm threatening you. I'm gonna give you one more chance. Hey, Solar, hold on. Where you at? Hey, Solar. So.
He getting kind of nervous, y'all. Please understand.
Don't read it, dog. Tell him don't read that, yo.
The reason why
don't read that.
Hold on. You know why I know about this source, Unc?
Why?
Because of you.
I know, but you shouldn't read that though.
I'm gonna read it though.
No, don't read that, yo.
Because it's a more focused source. It's more recent. It's only 2 years old versus the 50-year-old sources that you've been reading. So let's read this by Richard Weinkart. I'm
threatening you, yo. I'm gonna give you one last chance, yo. You can walk away now.
Okay.
Now listen, you can walk. Yeah. We're not gonna charge you with it, yo. Yes, if you walk away from it right now and don't read that, so don't read it.
Because you can read it with me. You can read this with me.
But I'm telling you, don't use that, yo. I'm trying to help you out, yo. I don't want to make you look bad, yo. The contest will be over with if you read that.
Come on, man. You think I'm afraid of that?
All right. I dare you.
All right. So
I ain't about to do it. There you go.
All right.
There you go.
All right, can I read?
Yes. Yeah, I told you don't do it. You move to something different. Just get out of that, yo. I don't want to win like this.
No, let's keep doing it. It says in 1881, towards the end of his life, Charles Darwin wrote to a colleague that the quote, end quote, more civilized so-called Caucasian races have beaten the Turkish hollow in the struggle for existence. Looking to a world at no very distant date, what an endless number of lower races will have been eliminated by the higher civilized races throughout the world. This is what Charles Darwin said. This is in quotations here. And it says, let's continue. This was just not some offhand comment unrelated to Darwin's science. It reflected important elements of his theory of human evolution. Indeed, he articulated the same principle in his scientific study of human evolution, The Descent of Man, in 1871, where he claimed, quote, at some future period, not very distant as measured by centuries, the civilized races of man will almost certainly exterminate and replace throughout the world the savage races. Not only racism, but racial extermination was an integral feature of Darwin's theory from the start. So racism is prominent in academia. There's no way around it. And I find it funny that people try to hold Shank Ain't Joke to a standard as it pertains to race, but then we read Charles Darwin's work, and it is the foundation of evolution, but he too was in fact a racist, or he was very prejudiced against what he considered lesser races. So we got to be honest with this thing when we are reading these sources, and that's why I'm stating what I'm stating on.
You did it anyway, yeah. Look, do me a favor, yo. Next time, go to the Charles Darwin website and all that. So you're gonna bring me something.
You saying you ain't never read from this website before? Are you serious?
No, I'm saying this is a pseudoscientific website. It's a creationist website, yo. It's actually part of the intelligent design package, yo. That's why I say don't use it, yo. I just didn't even want to win like that, yo. Look, here you go right here, yo. I didn't want to do this. Look,
but did they quote his work?
Look, hold on. No, they misquoted shit. Look, intelligent design. Look, you using intelligent design and evolution awareness. This is the site they use to talk crazy, yo. Look, this is crazy, yo. Look, there you go. Science and Culture, Science Discovery Institute. This is part of the shit they're using, yo. You would never use that in the intellectual gunfight, dog. You would never do it. I can't believe you brought the intelligent design shit. This is look. There you
And
go.
I agree with you, intelligent design. I read this to show you what
I know,
Charles
but you
Darwin
do know that that's a and look.
I'm sorry, but this is what Charles Darwin himself said.
But you do get. I'm just
primary
saying.
source.
But you get my point, though. This is not a prime. He didn't say that. They fucked it all up on purpose.
Then you have to show your work and prove that. You just can't say that. Show your work and prove that now.
No, I'm just saying your source is not an academic source, is what I'm saying.
Sorry, but they have quoted Charles Darwin, which makes that quote a
no, they have misquoted Charles Darwin.
They have
all this is foolery. This is not science-based. None of this. Look, ladies and gentlemen.
Integrity as an academic is on the line. Show it.
I just showed you. It's a Wikipedia article. No, this is part of the Discovery Institute, man.
You went to a Wikipedia
and then got to this and
something that you showed your methodology again.
I don't have to. I got hey damn Solar. You gotta show my screen, Solar. Solar man. No, this is all the foolery, right? No, this is intelligent design. Look, bro. This is This is evolution news, yo. This is the fake shit. That's what I'm saying. Don't do it.
When you read it, though, right?
No, it's the website itself is pseudoscientific, dog. That's all I'm saying.
We're not talking about the website.
We are. You cannot use a pseudoscientific website. I don't want to talk over you.
Charles Darwin quoting how he felt about.
Okay, let me read this for you. This is about us. This is the about us section. Standards and ethics. Evolution News and Science Today publishes work by scientists associated with the Discovery Institute Center of Science and That's why I just didn't want to do it to you, shorty. Like when I'm gonna read this again. Evolution News and Science Today publishes work by scientists associated with the Discovery Institute Center for Science and Culture, as well as the independent scholars and writers. They fucking lying because none of them have published works. None of the hold on, let me finish. None of the scientists they claim to use copyrighted article published copyright by Discovery Institute. Okay, now watch this. Hold on. Since we cooking with hot goddamn grease around this motherfucker, because this is what we do all day, every day. We cook with hot goddamn grease. Not only hot grease, but red hot goddamn grease. So look, yo, since you want to do it, and I say don't do it, intelligent design. Look, evolution awareness. It says, look, intelligent design and evolution awareness center is a nonprofit advocacy organization that promotes scientific principles of intelligent design. You know what I'm saying? Of intelligent design. And what the fuck is intelligent design? Look, intelligent design, is a pseudoscientific argument for the existence of God and presence by its proponents as evidence-based scientific theory about life. Get the fuck out of here. That's what I'm trying to say, yo. I say, don't do it. I said, I don't want to win like that. I begged and pleaded. I know Juju on then told you, Cedric, I know they say, no, Chris, don't do it. I didn't want to win like that. At this point, you're actually out the game for bringing pseudoscientific information, right, against a person who has brought nothing but Harvard and Yale. That's Oliver Brunt, Morgan State University. Top-notch evolutionary theory, top-notch sources. So can we now get back to, well, now he sent you out the contest, because I didn't think you would bring a scientific, a pseudoscientific source, but you did. I don't want to showboat too much, but I need to dance a little bit, just a little bit. Because that's how we do it, Chris. Can we get back to the back migration so I can get you out?
Yeah, I do, but I think
you don't want to argue that. Don't argue. Come on, just say I shouldn't have used that. Go find something else.
No, that's not true because
you want to use intelligent design website, yo.
Excuse me, is it all right?
No, you.
Is it all right?
I'm not gonna argue with you on no intelligent design website,
yo.
Because on the pseudoscientific, I'm not gonna do
it. I even went to Goodreads.com where I just pull books from every now and then because I have a membership there. If you could share my
no, you should have used that at first. Now you backed away.
No, but I'm showing you what you're doing is
I didn't do it.
Argument.
I didn't do it, bro. You did that. You brought that pseudoscientific source.
Okay,
I did.
So here it is. Here's his quote again. And it says, this is his quote. And that's why I read that to show his quote. He quotes and says, I could show the fight on natural selection having done and doing more for the progress of civilization than you seem inclined to admit. Remember what risk the nations of Europe ran not so many centuries ago of being overwhelmed by the Turks, and how ridiculous such an idea now is. The more civilized so-called Caucasian races have beaten the Turkish hollow in the struggle for existence. Looking to the world at no very distant date, what an endless number of the lower races will have been eliminated by the higher civilized races of the world. That quote still stands. I think it's irrelevant. I think it's irrelevant
Man,
I think it's truly irrelevant where I pulled the quote from. That's a red herring that you're creating to make it look like
a red herring. You brought a non-scientific source to a scientific conversation, bro.
I'm sorry, but all I'm doing is bringing. So you're saying that Charles Darwin is unscientific in his approach right here?
No, I'm saying that you misreading that shit. I ain't even looked. I was talking to read. Now, what you saying right here? Where's that from?
But you know what?
Go ahead and read it. Go ahead and read it. Read it. Go ahead.
For the sanctity of the audience.
Go ahead.
Let's get into this.
No, go ahead and read it. What is it? What is it?
Are you serious, bro?
What is it? It say I could show fight on natural selection, having done and doing more for the progress of civilization than you seem to incline to admit. Remember what risks the nations of Europe ran not so many centuries ago, being overwhelmed by the Turks, and how ridiculous such an idea now is. It says the more civilized so-called Caucasian races, he's talking about white people now, have beaten the Turkish hollow in the struggle for existence. Man, yo. Looking to the world at no very distant date, what endless number of lower races will have been eliminated by the high
Let it go. You're done.
No, did you read it though, yo? It say, first of all, the uncivilized, it say that the civilized races of white people overtook the white people. It just, he was basically saying that, yo, this is a regular occurrence. So I want to tell you right now, yo, that the hunter-gatherers is getting out of here faster than goddamn nigga running from a ghost, yo.
Where's this quote taken from?
It's probably taken, but I'm saying, so it's not actually a racial statement. He's simply stating the obvious, yo, that the people with higher technology is gonna make the other people go extinct. That's a reality. I mean, damn.
But you know what? I'm gonna tell you.
Did you read this first though, yo? You forgot I was a Charles Darwin guy, right?
This quote is taken from The Descent of Man.
But it's not actually a racial statement because he deals with the white people first.
You know what?
Am I correct? Am I correct?
The white races, the more civilized races, and you know.
No, he said he was talking about the Turkish. He talking about white people first.
Are you no, bro? Stop.
Just read it. You don't even gotta put it back up. You don't gotta put it back up. Hey, Solomon, this man came in here with it.
Let it go.
Red Charles Darwin. Let's get back. Hold on. Let's close it out with this.
But let me say this though. Let me say this.
All right. Can we move on to the back migration? I think that's important. And indigenous, okay.
Because it's getting a little late here.
Yeah, no, I want to finish you off.
I'll say this in closing.
Yeah, say it in closing.
Nah, this
saying in closing.
You need to work out. You got a junk food body.
Nah, nigga, I ain't got no junk food body. Nigga, shit. Nigga, I'm good at the 8. What? Okay. What, nigga?
So let's
I'm good, nigga. Don't make me take my Nah, I ain't gonna do all that.
Today we're gonna agree on some things, but we can disagree.
But you got a puggy neck though, nigga. So what you eating?
Fried chicken. I'm 185. That's because I'm looking
at you.
Like this.
Yeah, look at you.
But anyway,
double neck. But go ahead.
We're gonna agree as men to disagree today.
About what?
I agree with the slides you presented. Now I agree with that.
Thank you, sir. That was the closing.
I agree with you on that.
The closing shit.
All right, but they were black and they were Negroes in the Latin sense. We have to understand what the word Negro came to mean in the 60s during the Civil Rights Movement and how it related to academia, right? So we have to understand certain contexts here. You understand what I'm saying? It's getting late and I want to get into the Paleolithic period, but I want to do a presentation on that.
All right, then we'll come back.
I'm hiding my hand a little bit too. You know what I'm saying?
I ain't hiding my hand. It's all out there in the middle of the street.
No. I think you've shown your hand enough. Your presentation lacks cohesion.
No problem. But I bet you understand it though, don't you?
Don't worry. Nah, I didn't. You came on here and gave us an elementary breakdown.
Supposed to. Y'all like you would understand some high level extraordinary shit.
Understand that shit. But anyway.
If you understand it, why are you debating me on that? Why are you having this type of hold on, back to the back migration and indigenous people.
Go ahead. Let's do
so what is your understanding of indigenous people now?
Indigenous people are the people that are native to the land. That are native there.
Okay.
All right. Simple.
So let's deal with the back migration.
Go ahead.
So I want you to know that when Homo sapiens sapien back migrated into Africa, they back migrated into population that was there already. You agree?
Yeah.
So yes, watch this. When Homo sapiens sapiens back migrated, right? Did they mix with humans already in Africa? Of course they did.
Yeah.
Homo sapiens back migrated in Africa from Eurasia.
Well, wait. Oh, stop. 4,500 BCE, we're Homo sapien, right? We're now Homo sapien. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I just need to be clear on that. Okay.
Yeah, 4,000. Of course, we've been Homo sapiens sapiens
Yeah.
since 350,000 years.
Yeah.
It said the Homo sapiens sapiens back migrating in Eurasia. It say they did mix with populations already present in the continent. Back migration, subsequent mixing has significant genetic and cultural implications. So here are some of the key points to detail the process. Genetic studies have shown that there were multiple waves of migrations back into Africa, particularly from Near East and Europe, which brought Eurasian genetic material into African populations. For instance, genetic analysis of ancient and modern African genomes reveals significant Eurasian ancestry in some African populations, particularly in North and Northeast Africa, right? And so we got that. Now watch this. Hold on. So you read the definition of an indigenous, right? Now watch this question here. So we want to know, does mixing with those indigenous African populations stop those African populations from being indigenous?
What's this source you're reading from?
I'm reading from Dale's blog, Anthropology. And also I'll provide them in the thing for you when I finish reading it. Okay, so the question is, does the indigenous population, does mixing with those back migrations, does the indigenous population stop those African populations from being indigenous? The answer is no. It's a mixing with back migration population does not stop the indigenous African population from being considered indigenous. Indigenous status is not solely determined by genetic purity. See what I'm saying? But by the combination of historical, cultural, and ancestral connection to a particular reason. Here's some key points. Historical and cultural continuity. Indigenous status is often identified by the group long-standing connection to a specific geographical region, their cultural practices, and their historical presence in that area. African populations, despite genetic admixture, have maintained their cultural identities, language, and traditions, which are deeply rooted in the African continent. Those factors are crucial in identifying their indigenous standing. Genetic diversity. Africa is the most genetically diverse continent. And this diversity includes the result of both ancient and more recent admixture. See, the presence of non-African genetic material in some African populations does not negate their indigenous status. Instead, it highlights the dynamic and complex history of human populations on the continent. Indigeneity and admixture. Admixture is the common occurrence in history of all human populations. I've been trying to say that. And it does not invalidate a group's claim of being indigenous to their land. Indigenous populations around the world, including in Africa, have experienced gene flow from other neighboring groups while maintaining their distinct identity and connection to their ancestral land. Indigenous rights and organizations recognize the indigeneity of populations based on their historical ties to the region, regardless of genetic admixture. For example, the United Nations declared on the rights of indigenous people, the UNDRIP defines indigenous people based on their historical continuity with pre-colonial societies and their cultural distinctiveness, not on genetic factors. So in summary, African populations remain indigenous to their regions regardless of genetic admixture. With back migration populations, their cultural, historical, and ancestral ties to their lands are primarily determinants of their ingenuity. So there you go.
All right. Interesting.
It's interesting though, right? Most people don't know that, Chris. A lot of people just heard this tonight for the first time. Trust me. That's very interesting.
So when you're talking about indigenous people, one of the things that I don't know what you realized was you're reading commentary. In order to understand who indigenous people are in certain lands, like say, for instance, we have the Berber people. You have a group of darker skinned Berber people, and you have a group of lighter skinned with damn near, well, which are white Berberish people, right? Berber people also called the Amazigh people, right? Now, when you look at the indigenous populations, of course, these are Africans that are indigenous to their home. But popular media is only going to showcase the white Amazigh people. When you look at those people, their culture is not, in fact, Berberish. It's, in fact, Balkan when you look at it. And even their language is, in fact, European and Balkan. But you have that group of people that have also mixed with the indigenous populations. It doesn't mean that they are indigenous. It just means that they are now mixing with the more indigenous populations that are already there. And sometimes when we're reading these sources, we have to be very careful, because these sources are always going to support the more popular media that that is presented in North Africa, and which was Arabized sometimes during the 7th century CE, because you also have the Arabization process of Africa, and this is why you have all the Arabized names that are there now, with the influence of the proliferation of Islam as it invaded there during the 7th century. So you have to be careful with that. It's good that you read your sources, but you're not understanding that you are in fact reading commentary. It's best to study the anthropology of the area to get a cultural understanding of the people. I noticed that you presented anthropology in your presentation, but you necessarily didn't go into it as it pertains to back migrations into Africa. And that'll be something that I'll be addressing this month over here, also dealing with indigenous peoples and people that migrated into their homes, pushing them further south or inward into the central.
There you go with the pushing. There you go.
Last time I checked, the European just came into North Africa and said, "Hey guys, we're gonna move in with you." I'm gonna have to deal. But let me ask you this: when we look at that, where did the E1B1A haplogroup, which is more commonly found in sub-Saharan Africa, where is its origin at, Ankh?
Well, let's look it up. I'll get the E1B1.
E1B1A.
All right, here we go. Let's get right
to Wikipedia.
That's EV38.
EV38 migrated from what area of Africa to what area?
Evidence of Y chromosome analysis from the late exclusive eastern expansion of the Bantu-speaking people. You want that one? That's from the Journal of Nature.
Here, I'll read something to you here.
Oh, you want to do the Wikipedia? Go with the Wikipedia. Here, it's right. It tells you East Africa.
East Africa, right?
So they changed it over to the EV38. But go ahead.
So it was EV38, and then when the Green Sahara dried up, these groups all did what?
They found the groups went to
north, south, east, looking for water and migrating, right?
Yep.
And as the Sahara continued to expand, those groups, that Sahara became a barrier for the EV38 to even get back there. Would you agree with that?
Say it again.
Where was that? When the Sahara began to expand, remember when the Sahara dried up, it becomes these groups started migrating east and west. Am I correct? South and north. Am I correct?
Yeah.
So then we have mutations in their genetic coding, right? Okay. So the Sahara now becomes a barrier for all these people that migrated some 40,000 years. I'm sorry, 40,000 years ago. Yeah, 40,000 years ago, right?
Somewhat of a barrier. We'll go because they
right, but its origin is in East Africa, right?
Yep, that's what it say.
That's the science, right? So when we're saying that our origins are in fact Nubia or the Sudan or Egypt, those were all indigenous African populations. Yes, migrations from other areas contributed to their gene pool, but the indigenous populations created these civilizations, and your presentation showed that. I don't think I have anything else to say. E1B1A is just a variant of the EV38, which origin is in fact in East Africa.
But that's hey Solomon, hit the thing, hit the screen share real quick. Solar mine. Yeah, so right here. Great article, yo. It's in my book. The history of male migration in and out of the Green Sahara.
Mm-hmm.
And here you go right here. This is a great study right here. You can tell it 12,000, look at the scale, thousands of years, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so the Bantu, the EM2, that's not during the Green Sahara time period. We're supposed to know that. But what you do see here is A3, M13, and EM2 Green Saharian. Then you got the EM78 North Africa, then the RV88, and they're in that Green Sahara. And here go right here.
Now
Right?
remember,
So
the RV88 is a
Northeast Africa.
yeah,
Mhm.
and
Yep.
and hold on, and
No,
some,
no, not RV88. That's not
yeah, that's
that's
what I'm about to say. That's Levant. That's Levant.
Yep.
No,
Go
it
ahead.
actually come from Europe. It come from Levant, then Europe, then into Africa.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's what I
hmm
said. Yeah.
What's going on, brother?
What's good with it?
Hey, I know
Who
you
was
didn't get
that,
a chance
Gullah?
to jump on. Gull, I
Who
know
was
you didn't
that,
get a
Gullah?
chance to jump on, but I wanted to
Yeah.
yesterday, yo. But yeah. But you see the
Oh,
map right here though, right?
yeah, I
Look.
see it.
So look, it's telling you how they fanned in and fanned out. It's all right here. I'm gonna give this to you. I think you should read this, yo.
All right,
All
send
right.
that to me in Messenger.
All right, I'm sending to you
Just don't
right
say
here.
you're gonna slap the shit out of my mama no more.
No, I ain't doing that. I'm cordial today. I'm gonna cut you out next time. Not on this though. I got you.
Yeah. But like E1B1A, it spread it,
Who's this talking?
it's Gullah.
Oh, what up, Gullah?
Good with it. It mutated in East Africa, but it was in like more like the Western Sudan. You got like that Sudan is big as hell. You know what I'm saying? You had different various populations. You had the Niger Cadothian population. You had the Proto-Nilo-Saharan population. And you had the Proto-Afrasian groups. You know what I'm saying? More towards the Red Sea Hill area. You know what I'm saying? You had very different regions that was gapped out. You know what I'm saying? Most of them that E1B1A signature, you know what I'm saying, is amongst those Niger Cadothian speakers in the savannah areas, you know what I'm saying, leading to like the
Mhm.
what they call the West Sudanic belt going into West Africa. That was the corridor for them even going into the Green Sahara in the first place, you know what I'm saying, around like 20,000 and 12,000 years ago.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? They was in the Central Sahara for a while. That's where EM2 mutated at, the offshoot of EV38 in the Central Sahara.
So C, it say the present day distribution of the four green Saharan Y chromosome haplogroups, yellow shading indicates the Sahara Desert. Each circle represents a sample population with the presence or absence of the four green Saharan haplogroups, shown by the colored sector. Other haplogroups may also be present in these populations, but are not shown. The small arrows indicate the inferred northward and southward movements of these haplogroups when the Sahara became uninhabitable. So here we go right here. Y'all see the four colors. Go back up here, right? Y'all see the 1, 2, 3, 4 colors. All right, and look at the circles. That's Northeast Africa. Egypt is the northeastern sector, right? And you see that purple. That purple represents RV88 that you would find in that area. You got the brown. The brown represents A3M13. You got the blue. The blue represents EM78. That's the North African variant. And you got that green. That green represents the EM2. And they safely fixed. They all run in the Sahara. They do their thing and they come back out again. And they show how they come back out right here. This is a great study. I suggest y'all read it. Gullah is thoroughly familiar with this article. I know we've been reading this for a few years now. So I don't know what the problem is. And that's why I talked about how being indigenous and having mixture doesn't stop you from being indigenous. And I don't think most people understood that till the day. I put them sources in there, man. And so I'm gonna stop right here. And yeah, man, I mean, this is where we at, yo. We stay right there. But you cannot bring intelligent design to this type of conversation, bro. You just can't do it.
Well, why would you say that?
Because you can't. Because we
Because the statement that you made earlier was
yo,
that
you just dove in
everybody
all quick.
agreed.
What's your name, brother?
This is Blue.
How you doing, brother?
Peace. What's good? What you got?
We in the game. What talk to me? What's on your mind, man?
Yeah, earlier you stated
Mm-hmm.
that nobody agrees with evolution.
Mm-hmm.
You said the only disagreement is how it starts. So why would you then say that you can't introduce intelligent design into the conversation of evolution?
Yeah, you misunderstood that statement. They was talking about the debate is over the mechanisms, like how much, what role does natural selection play, or what role does what horizontal gene for, I don't even want to use that one. What role does a bottlenecking and all that? So that's kind of the little
Right.
conversation. That's all. So that's why I would say that. You got to understand how the statement was made.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, intelligent design is a religious statement. It's not a scientific statement. So that's why you should never use a creationist website in a scientific argument and conversation. That's why he know that's out of order. He know that.
Now,
I threatened him,
I
though. I
can
told
see,
him don't
but
use it. I told him don't use it. Go ahead.
and so when you say that intelligent design isn't a scientific,
It's not. It's pseudoscience.
what would be the scientific method for evolution, right? And just strictly the method. Like, you don't have to go into the details, but just the what's the order of operations for determining whether a theory is probable or not.
It's not. It's just not a theory, though. It's a scientific theory. All right, that's important. It's a
To an
scientific theory.
extent, but there's flaws in the theory. I mean, but we can say to an extent it is I think what makes it a scientific theory as opposed to just a theory is that,
Yeah.
yeah, we see things evolve,
Yes, there you
right?
go. Mhm.
But do you but do you see things evolve from species or different kinds?
Yeah, your phone messing up. I kind of heard what you
Same
said.
kind evolve.
Yeah. So evolution is not
Do you,
changing from a frog to a
yeah.
cat. That's not evolution. That's foolery. You feel me? Evolution doesn't state that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not evolution. That's some
I can
wild religious
definitely.
people tripping. You get it?
So like the statement when they would show or say that a shark
Mm-hmm.
and a dolphin
Mm-hmm.
aren't as closely related as the
Correct.
dolphin and the house mouse.
Mm-hmm.
Would you
Yep.
say that's pseudoscience, or would you
No,
say
no, that's
that's
correct. That's correct. So let's talk about it. So
mm,
is a dolphin a fish?
yeah, type? Yeah,
Nope.
I would say a type.
No, it's not. You know why? Dolphins hold their breath. They have lungs. Dolphins are actually mammals, whereas though a shark is a fish. A shark has gills. Mammals have lungs. Mammals start out on land and some going back into the water. You can look at the hips on a dolphin and a whale to tell they was on land first and was walking. Okay. You might not get it off the top, but humans are mammals. And so the female variety actually breastfeeds their young. A dolphin breastfeeds their young. A shark don't. Dolphins have hair. Sharks don't. Dolphins have live births, right? Okay, meaning,
Uh-huh.
and they're attached to an umbilical cord. That's all. So they're mammals. So that's why they're not. That's why a dolphin would be more closely related to a mouse than a fish. Makes sense, right? You get it though.
Yeah,
You
nah.
might
I mean,
not accept it, but you get it though, right?
I can. No, no, no. I get. I definitely get the breakdown. I think
Okay.
if you,
Okay.
I definitely see. I mean, I would agree if they were, if we was breaking it down when you asked me the question initially, if it was a mammal. Yeah,
Right.
that would be my first
Yeah.
agree.
So
I
that's
would
the
agree that
difference.
it's a
Yeah.
mammal.
So there you go. So people ain't trying to do what we doing right now, man. We just vibing and trying to get the clarity on it. People be trying to push their position like it's some kind of, because the evolution is a white man thing. It's bullshit, bro. Because I can show you some black people that played a role in evolution too, like Al Jaheed.
Right.
He made statements on that prop before Charles Darwin. My man right here got a channel called The Book of Al Jaheed, because we
Yeah.
know
So
about these things. He's a Muslim scholar. He wrote a 7-volume set, encyclopedias. This is before Charles Darwin. The
Yeah.
difference
And
between him and Charles Darwin produced a theory, a scientific theory. That's all.
yeah, he had a similar concept of natural selection, even though he didn't call it natural selection at the time, but the concept he had was similar to Darwin's concept of natural selection.
Absolutely.
okay,
Absolutely. Yep.
and so like, even just getting back to the Darwinism, right?
Mm-hmm.
Strictly the evolution. So a
Yeah.
lot of the ways that like so you stated earlier that the Homo erectus was human.
Human. Yes. That's why it's homo. That
Okay.
mean human. They human, but they not Homo sapien. They're different species. They not Homo sapiens, they Homo erectus, but they're still considered human. You get it?
They're actually an older lineage of humans. Homo sapiens sapiens are the more derived species. You know what I'm saying? Even though we're humans too, they just an older. You know what I'm saying? They even had an older, more. It was a whole lot of different types of Homo erectuses too, even before you even get to modern humans.
And so we could see you saying that there's a link between the Homo erectus and the Homo sapien sapien.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
They in the same genus. They could probably mix, right, Gullah?
yeah, you probably can mix. Even like whatever modern humans, even before you get to Homo heidelbergensis, you know what I'm saying? Whatever that was, it came off from probably from some type of Homo erectus that we haven't found yet. You know what I'm saying? Probably a offshoot of like we probably just an offshoot of an offshoot of a Homo erectus.
Yeah,
Or
what they call the ghost
some type
population.
of some type of Homo erectus.
Okay, so so when you say that, okay, so humans, the Homo erectus, they develop where? Outside of Africa or in Africa?
No,
In
in
Africa.
Africa.
All
Homo
humans
gas
derived in Africa.
The
In Africa.
Homo gasto will be the oldest, you know what I'm saying, Homo erectus out of that genius or that family. You know what I'm saying? They the first primates to be hairless, to have develop the sweat glands and not have the hair fully naked.
Develop that dark skin.
Okay, so but when I say my fault, and I might have misquoted this when I said develop out of Africa, they did leave, right?
Who?
Yeah,
Homo
they left.
erectus?
Yeah, the Homo erectus did go north.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
went into
Yep.
Eurasia.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yep.
they went to Eurasia. Even what they call the Hobbit, Homo forensis. You know what I'm
Uh-huh.
saying? Even though that was that like they come from an old lineage, but they was still still some of them lingering around when Homo sapiens sapiens left out. You know what I'm saying? It was still some Homo erectuses. You know what I'm saying? Still in certain pockets and areas. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like Homo forensis or the Hobbit. That they found in Indonesia. That thing like died out like 30,000 years ago. There was people already you know what I'm saying, in Asia, modern humans was already in Asia, but by that time that thing was all the way out the door.
So
Even
the modern, so I just want to make sure I'm following y'all correctly. So we got the Homo erectus is in Eurasia, right? Does this Homo erectus become the Eurasian?
no,
No. Because see, remember the Eurasians are Homo sapiens sapiens. They us. They just mutated to their environment.
yeah,
So
Right.
we
the
took over.
Eurasian is a Homo sapien sapien.
You also got a Eurasian. Fucking hell. What is it? What did you say? Homo erectus. If they migrated to Eurasia, then they would have had to deal with that climate. So then their genes would have been infected, would have been affected by sun levels, different change in diet. You know what I'm saying? They remember they naked, right?
Right.
So they would have to, and I'm pretty sure they might have developed some type of clothes and shit. Yeah.
Okay. So how we get the
Right about
Eurasian?
Bella. Animal
I
skin,
just
they would have had to be in. Go ahead.
No, the Eurasian is a modern human. Them those are like modern Eurasians or modern humans that left out of Africa 70,000 years ago. They not
No, we
Homo.
talking about the Homo erectus just left out.
Yeah,
I was
Homo
just
erectus left out like
so that's
shoot.
what we were talking about. We were saying I was asking the question, then they would have mutated to the environment too. Am I correct?
Oh they mutate into environments too. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They just different type of humans. Like they not modern humans at all.
Yeah, they're not
Them
modern humans, just like Homo Neanderthal, right? They're
yeah.
not modern humans. So Europeans aren't Homo Neanderthal, although they have a heavier mix. So 1 to 4%, but they still don't make them Neanderthal.
Yeah, it ain't enough. It ain't enough
Ain't
to make.
enough.
so you saying that they aren't the European isn't
No, they
Neanderthal.
Homo sapiens sapiens. They you. They just mutated in the environment.
Mm,
That's
Over
them.
time, the
mm,
population changed and just lightened up to deal with the bombardment, the lack of sunlight. So
right.
Yeah,
your color. Look, so watch this. This is a good example. Me and you. Look at the camera. Me and you, right? So
Uh-huh.
if we both went to Eurasia, right? Took our women with us, right?
Right.
Probably based off of your skin color, right? I'm gonna have more valuable offspring than you because I'm lighter. So I'm going to allow more sunlight in than you would. So over time, right? If it was started off with 10 of y'all might have 10 more children, but say only 8 made it. I might have 10 and all 10 made it. So right there, I'm up by 2. And over time, right, my offspring, which is a little bit lighter than you, will produce more offspring, whereas though you would produce less. So over time, that population would shift from me and your complexion to more of the complexion that was more favorable for the environment, which would help us to get more sunlight. You know what I'm saying? You would block out more sunlight, lessening the vitamin D. Not unless you got something to offset that, like heavy diet in fish that would give you more vitamin D. If you don't have that, then you need to make up for that, because then you would start to cause neural tube disorders.
Yeah,
Like
rickets
rickets, spina bifida. You know what I'm saying? All right. In reverse, over time, if we migrated back into Africa and went closer to the equator, you know what I'm saying, you would have more favorable offspring. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I might develop skin cancer. You know what I'm saying? I'm letting in too much sun. You know what I'm saying? It's whack. So over time, the population would darken up to look like you because it would be more favorable for you and your offspring. That's evolution, bro. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
I don't agree. I mean, I don't necessarily disagree with that.
All right.
Some of it I'm a little sketchy on. I
Well,
think
read it.
when we
Read up on it. You'll get it. You there. Take your
yeah,
time.
and,
Hey,
and when
check.
I
Hey, if you can, bro, check out a book. I promise you, the book will be very valuable to you. You get the Greatest Show on Earth by Richard Dawkins. It'll put you right on point with what your understanding of evolution. It's called
okay,
the Greatest Show on Earth.
okay, and so the Natufians, what would y'all consider them?
They're modern humans.
They
The two
modern
feet.
humans.
That's
That's just
that's
a
the
name.
Neolithic. That's Neolithic period. That's like farming and shit.
Are
Yeah,
they
now
African?
they got. We can look up them. They got a mix, but fundamentally speaking, all humans are African, though.
Well, yeah, we would say what they have. I'll rephrase it. Would they have considered them to be sub-Saharan?
I'm not sure. They think that's. I think that's like a more North African population. But I only, well, like I'm saying, the designation of sub-Saharan is tricky because there's always a gradation. Like it's not no electric fence to pop up. So Nubia is in North Africa, and I think let me show. I want to show you this real quick. Solomon, share my screen. Show my screen. Hold on. All right, hold on. Let me get here. All right, so this is North Africa, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's the map. North Africa. You see Egypt, right?
Right.
You see Sudan, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's in Northeast Africa. It's really Northeast Africa.
Right. Right.
Now watch this. All right, Northeast Africa. And let me move to, hold on. Now watch this. This is West Africa. All right. See? Look
What
what's
you
part of
typed
West
in?
Africa.
Sub.
Nope. I ain't even do the sub. I ain't even do that yet. But look, I would just want to show you what West Africa is considered, right? And
Right.
let's look at it. So the dark green, the map of Africa showing the dark green, what is considered politically as West Africa, and that bright green countries not considered politically as West Africa, but geographically part of West Africa. See that?
Uh-huh.
All right. I think I need to know that. So now, if we want to see sub-Saharan Africa, watch this. Sub-Sahara, sub-Saharan Africa, right? Get a good map of it. Put it right here. Okay. See? Sub-Saharan Africa. All right. And in this one, they got Sudan part of sub-Saharan Africa. So it's part of sub-Saharan Africa right there. And then watch this. Then
North
here is part of North Africa.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Right.
All right.
Which we agree is political.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, the Nubians is considered Northeast Africans.
Right.
Because that's what's located on the map. The map said, not me. Let's look at the longitude and latitude. See, that's important. See, we use longitude and latitude. All right. Longitude and latitude. Look at it. So where is it located? There you go. Northeast Africa. Based off of longitude and latitude. But watch this. Look, if that's the case, hold on. If that's the case, the wild games they play, real wild, right? Still using longitude and latitude, right? We see the equator, right? These are the darkest people on Earth. Oh, man, let me go back. Hold on. Damn it. All right. Down there, because that's the equator where the temperatures are the highest, right? And if you look at this shit is just crinkly line. Look. Doop, 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 doop. So you think people just lined up and followed the line, yo? That'd be crazy.
Facts.
It's just wild. Right? There's a gradient. And I like to always give this example right here. And I think you can understand this example right here. Not hard. What part of the United States you live in?
I'm in the West Coast.
West Coast. All right, back. Big up to Cali. Watch this.
Yeah.
Cause y'all right, we ain't like y'all.
I
give it to you. Yeah, I give it to you. All jokes aside, you're right. Okay, let's move on. Shit, I'm gonna give you that one, but we ain't gotta debate that shit. All right. So watch this though. If you're in Georgia, right? Palm trees aren't actually indigenous to Georgia.
Right.
Right? Florida is tropical. You know what I'm saying? It stays hot all year round, basically. It does not stay hot all year round in Georgia. Georgia has a winter period. Also Florida, but the temperatures ranging. They have mild winters. Now watch this. But the palm trees that are indigenous to Florida area, tropical area, right? You find them on the borders. So as you make your way down Georgia, you find no palm trees. But as you get closer to Florida, you start to find palm trees. Then by the time you get into Florida, right, there's palm trees, right? There's a certain climate that has to be there and all that for those plants to flourish. Okay, so you don't find palm trees in New York. There's a reason for that. But as you get closer to the tropical weather, as you work your way through Georgia, as you get closer to Florida, you start to find palm trees. And if you can understand that, then you can understand when I apply that same rule to human beings. Because if there's a variety of trees that are fit for environments, right, and as palm trees start to appear closer as you get to Florida, then that same situation would occur in human beings. So if you're in Northeast Africa and the closer you are to the Levant, the more you're going to look like people from the Levant. And the closer you are to Nubia in Sudan, right, and South Egypt, yeah, I'm saying, which is really Upper Egypt, the more you're going to look like people in Nubia and Sudan. Apply that rule. Simple. There's a gradation. And not to mention the gradation, right? Then there's migrations of people back and forth, right? There's everything is in the game. That's why it's a complicated situation to understand Nubia and Egypt. It's not that simple, bro. They're not looking like you want them to look at all times. You can find pockets of people on the Nile, right? They look like you think they should look. And then you find another pocket and say, nah. So I'm trying to get you to wrap your mind around just because you find a person that may look like me or lighter than me or that you would perceive as being a European, that doesn't mean they're European. They could just be a North African, a Northeast African. Trying to get you to wrap your mind around that there is no one way. There is no one way to look African, right? There is no one way to be Asian. Korea, is that in Asia?
Yeah.
China, is that in Asia?
Yep.
Japan, is that in Asia?
Yep.
India, is that not in Asia, the subcontinent of Asia?
Yep.
Watch this. Caucasus, Asia. Is that not in Asia? Where the Caucasus Mountains, is that not in Asia?
Yeah, it's still Asia.
So are you trying to tell me that the people in India, because they are darker than the people in the Caucasus Mountains, are you saying that they're more Asian than the people in the Caucasus Mountains? Are you trying to tell me because the people in China, yeah, I'm saying, look similar to maybe a little bit of Europeans, maybe a little bit, are you saying that they're more Asian? I'm trying to tell you that there is no one way to look Asian. Thus, there is no one way to look African. That's the mistake. That's what the early people who started to map peak things. That was the center of racism. They were seeing people and they were saying, nah, if you don't look like this, you're not that. Right? And our elders were saying stuff like, well, they look like white people, they invaded. When in actuality, people been in there for 60, 30,000 years. How long you got to be in the place, yo? You feel me? It's complicated, bro. That's why we start off with evolution.
Gullah in the back, so
it's complicated, bro. But if you can understand evolution and variety based off of evolution and how things mutate over time and how different gene variations occur, you know what I'm saying? Then you can understand the situation in the area that intersects 3 different continents, right? 3 different continents confluence in Egypt. It's called the area of goddamn confluence, yo. So from ancient times, populations been moving back and forth. This is a migratory route, bro. Whereas though those populations in West Africa, yo, they not migrating as much. They're not getting in. They migrate, but they migrating within the continent. They don't have that. They don't have that intersecting. You know what I'm saying? You got to go all the way up to the Strait of Gibraltar, right? Think about South Africa. You know what I'm saying? They got the oceans surround. You know what I'm saying? So they're not getting that healthy mix like up there in Northeast African population, right? So you got Ethiopia. That's a northeast population. Okay, you got hold on, watch this. You got Ethiopia, you got Egypt, right? You rarely hear people say that. Look, let me see.
Kenya, Somalia.
Hold on, we're gonna see north, east.
Yeah, you get a mix in Kenya, Somalia, but you get a mix of different like African groups too. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot. It's complex, man. You know what I'm saying?
Omo Valley civilization, and then.
So here we go. We show it right here. See, here you go. Northeast Africa. See, that's Northeast Africa. Northeast Africa.
You got to share a screen, so.
Share the screen, so hit that button.
And I'm saying in the Tufians is a mix. So you asked about the Tufians earlier. They're a mix. They're a mix of East Africans and indigenous Western Asia.
You see that? Can you see it? That's Northeast Africa. Egypt is safely fixed in Northeast Africa. Ethiopia is safely fixed in Northeast Africa. So, geography is an important part in the conversation. Evolution is an important part in the conversation. Anthropology is an important part in the conversation. If you don't understand geography, if you don't understand zones, skin maps, and if you don't understand all that, you're going to mess it up. And if you don't understand that humans are diverse, Africa, the most diverse population on planet Earth, right?
Yep.
Then you're going to mess up. You're going to say all the Egyptians got to look like you.
Yeah, and you got to understand.
And
you got to understand geology. You know what I'm saying? Like the different terrains, and that can shake you up too, because the Horn of Africa is on a mountainous mountain, so it's in sub-Saharan, but the weather is similar to Asia.
And the Ethiopian highlands.
It's cool. You can still it's part of it. It's still sometimes considered MENA because you can still grow wheat and barley and certain crops that come out of Asia in the highlands of Ethiopia.
Yeah, the Ethiopian and Eritrean, both of those islands. Yeah, but you can see those are the people though that end up conquering Ethiopia, the people who created that trade language in those highlands. They came back in and then they conquered the Omo Valley civilization.
Who you talking about? Who you talking about?
The Habesha.
Oh yeah, the Habesha are mixed themselves. They're a mix of Cushitic people.
Yeah, they got mixed.
Arabian people.
Yeah, they mixed it about 800 BCE. That's when you first start seeing the mixtures pop up with them.
No, they
But you
no
can
no
see the
no they
trade
been
before
mixing.
then.
No, bro, no, they been them people been mixing back and forth before then, bro.
Yeah,
Not starting. This is when this is when the particular kingdoms, you know what I'm
yeah,
saying, states started, but the people been the people been mixing, going, especially
yeah, with
the South
the
Arabian
trade.
languages came in around 2000 BC. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that trade go. They've been trading back and forth with Anatolia, Turkey, however you want to state it,
No,
since
no, no, South
forever.
Arabia. No, South Arabia. That area too, but particularly the Horn area, they've been back and forth with South Arabia for a long time. Even during the Basic period, 20,000 years ago.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. They I think if I'm mistaken, they saying they I think they tied a mixture back to the Sabian kingdom.
Yeah, that's around around 2000, like around 2000. South Arabia.
Hmm.
That's how you get eat.
Y'all leaving out the most important part though.
Go ahead, add it in.
One.
Yakub, the big head scientist that created the damn white man. You're
Oh
leaving that
man,
part
oh
out.
man.
The white man was created,
Facts.
and the white man is the devil. So we're gonna finish it up by closing it out. Thanks for the participation. Shout out to Blue and Gullah, also Chris Harris. Um,
Epic.
Closing comments, Uncle Cat.
Yeah, man, I appreciate the opportunity, man, to present the information, man. I think there was a healthy discourse back and forth between the gentlemen that jumped on the panel, and I always appreciate that. As long as we're not howling and screaming, I always feel like I'm gonna win that because the information is gonna be very clear, very concise. We get our points out, so I appreciate the platform, brother. Hope to work with you again. I know we got some things brewing we're gonna do, and we've been friends for a long time, yo. So it is what it is, man. And I just appreciate everybody that showed up in the building. And yeah, Juju, that term sub-Saharan Africa can be considered racist to some people, absolutely. But I appreciate the pseudo killers, man, and all they support, man. Pseudo killer official and community skeptics, and I'm a proud black atheist all day, every day.
All right, all right. With that being said, we're gonna close this thing out. Shout out to Uncle Cat. Once again, the participants. We will be back in the building tomorrow. We got a very powerful discussion. Taz will be in the building, going up against Bullets Gotti, talking about the, I'm gonna say assassination of Sonya. And Bullets Gotti.
Sonya Massey.
So Sonya Massey, thanks for that, Blue. Sonya Massey. So Bullets Gotti has an alternative view of what transpired. All right, so I'm just gonna leave it there. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna be rocking out 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. So make sure you be in the building for that. Until next time, people, this is Solar Vision. All right.
Peace.
Peace, peace. We're gonna close out with some more KRS. We're gonna close out with KRS. Close it out with KRS.
Hey, if you ain't retired, Unc, I'm gonna need that God debate with you.
Don't be like Chris, they can't be able to tell us design shit. I'm like, come on, yo. I can't believe we did it so.
I'm gonna show you some programming.
Oh, wow. Wow. Programming everything, huh? What about if a glitch hit it? What about if a virus hit the program? Then what?
We see it on a regular basis.
Wow.
Yeah, it's called the laws of physics, bro.
Yeah. Right.
You think that's the glitch?
I don't think that's a glitch. I think it is.
Okay. Yeah, we gotta do that.
Yeah, I'm with that. With that conversation.